Let the church say amen on a Wednesday night. Outlaw Radio
Amen.
Silence. Hump Day edition. What's going on, y'all? My name is Kevin Barnes. I'm also known in some circles as the Negro Whisperer. I am the host of Chocolate City, man. And we always have a lot of fun when we get together. Can you say that? Get together and talk about the plight of our people and what's going on. So I want to welcome y'all to the show. I would like to introduce my co-host as well. Mr. Carter, what's good with you?
Peace, man. Everything is good. Life is good. How y'all doing out there? And welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk and we definitely walk that walk. Raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, I am the black woman lover, the black man's brother, the coach, teacher, hood healer, the ghetto witch doctor. I'm y'all holistic health and wellness coach, Mr. Kamar Carter. Peace to the family. I'm also the one that drinks all nature's natural herbs and supplements. I'm sure y'all done seen it. And Vitality. I'm sure you tasted it. If you didn't, you better. You know, you can find it on Facebook, Nature's Natural Herbs and Supplements, or you go to my health page, Help Yourself Heal Thyself and Ask Somebody. Or you can go to my page, Kamar Carter, inbox me and I'll tell you how to get your Nature's Natural Herbs and Supplements and or Vitality. Come on in, y'all.
And we also have our neighborhood hippie, Brother Real. What's going on? Which I didn't know which one of your nom de cures to use. What you going by tonight?
Tonight is gonna be really J Valentine. Feeling good, Lewis.
Man, what's going on? What's going on, Mr. Valentine? Hey, if you know, you know, right?
That's one of my favorite movies, man. That's why I start fucking with stock and shit.
Yeah, it's a classic movie, man. Youngster, that's a classic movie, youngster.
Damn.
How you doing this evening, man?
Blessed, man. Happy to be here, man. A beautiful ass Wednesday. It was a beautiful ass day. We got a couple days of some good ass rain for anybody who got a garden going, you know. Right. We appreciate it a little bit more when that rain gonna feed us.
Right.
Look, you see, look, man, you could water I water my garden every day. But when that real rain get to it, dog, the next day I see so much progress.
Man, don't you?
Man.
You know what? And I always, we haven't been on since last week, right? Like, so we've gone through a holiday, and I always start out by giving condolences and talking about, people who may have lost someone, and I have to give one out. And you know what? I usually don't put my business on the air. Like, I come from two very large families, right, on both sides, right? A lot of people. So I'm probably kin to some of your kin who kin to somebody who kin to somebody. You know how we are in that village that we came out of, known as Little Mississippi, right? Big ass state. I call it a little ass village. But I lost I lost my auntie over the weekend. And the crazy part about it is this is an auntie, one of those relatives that you have that are older than you. And she's actually my cousin, but I refer to her as my auntie, right?
Right.
She like basically raised me, right? Like me and her kids. Shout out to my cousin T, my cousin Mario, my cousin Iris. And the irony of this is that we just lost our uncle, which was her husband, in January. So I understand. Look, I understand where we are in life. These things happen. This is kind of the season at our age. And I lost my mom years ago, and I lost my pops years ago. So I totally understand what they are going through. But I just want to say, man, condolences and prayers to them, man. I mean, I know
for sure.
it's hard to see mama in the box. And anybody who's experienced it can tell you it's one of the longest walks you will ever take, right? Like, just to see mama. And she ain't that ain't mama no more. She gone. So I don't wish that on nobody, right? So, but we lost a big factor in our family. So I gotta give it up, man. I gotta give it up because cuz actually, like I said, she raised me, man. It just knew me inside out, right? Had one of them cousins who had the right to whoop your ass if you messed up, right?
Right.
So shout out to her, man. Rest in peace, Auntie Maythel. And see, I ain't gonna do nothing like silent or nothing like that, because that ain't who she was. She'd be like, "Go on, baby, do your show." She ain't
Right,
that
right.
auntie, no matter what. She gonna tell you, go on, baby, do it. So yeah, man. Outlaw Radio, man. Sex and violence. And listen, if you lost somebody over this holiday, over this weekend, prayers and condolences to you as well. And we know somebody out there lost somebody because we got to talk about some more mass shootings tonight. We got to talk about some more homicide tonight. We got to talk about some more cop killings tonight. We got a whole bunch of deaths that we got to discuss, right? Like it's just a thing in our community. So condolences and prayers to anybody who lost somebody over this weekend, anytime, whenever, however it went. Condolences and prayers to you, man. It's Outlaw Radio, man. It's sex and violence. We're normally on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays and Thursdays, right? I could have just said Monday through Thursday. But the Big Black Sports Show is on hiatus right now, so that'll be back in about a month. And I just kind of I'm picking and choosing my times with Outlaw Nation because I'd like to really get some good interviews. So if people want to come on, talk about their business, promote something that they're doing, holla at me and you can get on Outlaw Nation. We'll hook up. I can get you on Outlaw Nation. Shout out to Alicia Mullins. She says, sorry for your loss. Thank you, my sister. Yeah, man. Lost auntie. But so sex and violence, man. You know, like I said, if you got something to say, put in the chat room. The number is 262-202-5131. You should feel welcome to like contribute, right? We don't support no solitary consolidated banging, right? Like, so you gotta be able to say what you want to say. But it's sex and violence because there's nothing else going on in this country right now. And one way or another, almost every argument we're having is stemming from either sex or violence, right? Like this is like the biggest thing. Listen, we're gonna lay this out tonight. Now, Rel, you say people, you say all they do is what you say, fight and fuck. Well, how do you put it when you say
No, I said the average person is so deprived of arousal or stimulation that they're drawn to the base natures, which is out of the reptilian mind, which is fight, flight, feeding. They gonna feed, fuck, or fight out that reptile mind. That's what.
okay? So apparently, right now we just fucking and fighting, right? I don't even know
And
how much
feeding.
feeding we actually doing, right? I don't know, right?
Right.
Because you think about the biggest topics that we have right now, the hot button topics, like number one, sexuality, right? This whole P Valley thing, this whole Macy Gray thing, stuff we're going to discuss tonight, stuff we're going to lay out. There's a constant argument or debate in this country about sexuality, and it's on our kids from the time they pop out. Right? Is you a boy? Is you a girl? Is you both? Is you non-binary? Are you neither? What do you identify? What bathroom you gonna use? Um, um, you know, it's always something about sexuality. Who has the right to say what? What's homophobic? What's trans? What's what they call it? Transphobic? All this kind of stuff, right? Everything is. Oh, don't say that. Don't write that there. Why? You might offend gay people. Oh no, well, gay people have the right to fill in the blank. Straight people shouldn't fill in the blank. We argue about sexuality constantly, constantly, constantly. Every time you think it's cool, some shit happens. Some come on TV, some message, some news, and then it's back on again. You got a dude competing against girls. We chilling. We all chilling. At a girl swim meet, here come a whole dude, right? Out with his suit on, talking about I'm competing with them. Bro, come on, man. Like, and then you got a dude who wants to dress like a woman. Fine, dress like the woman, right? But if you come up to myself or Kamar or brother Huge Hefner over here, you might get a funny look, right? Really, Mr. Valentine's, we should call him tonight. Valentine's, right? But if you come up to one of us and you a man and we know you as a man and you're dressed as a female, we say, what the fuck, man? He go, oh man, y'all homophobic, y'all doing me wrong, y'all discriminating against me. So there's that. Then there's even like porn. Dude, I don't think you can pick any society at any time period in society where people were freakier than they are now, because sex is absolutely everywhere, right? Like the internet that made porn, like porn when we was young, that was something forbidden. Like you didn't really, you had to make some moves to get your hand on that shit. Like, man, I'm Uncle magazines or
You better know somebody.
right? And then we all get together like because we knew. This is
Or
some
you get
wild shit.
lucky, you stumble up on something.
Right, man. Look what I found. What's this, man? I found this in my big brother room.
Shit,
Oh,
sometimes it was just left in the VCR. You just had to hit play. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that's what I'm saying. You
see,
get lucky.
I never went through that one. Right?
man.
I don't know
What's
where
this?
I don't know where moms and pops hid their shit at. 'Cause we never found theirs. They found ours and shit. We was little kids. So, but I'm saying now for a kid, basically, you got a phone, and people out there, don't kid yourself. Oh, I regulate my children. I know what they looking at online. No, you don't. Man, please, I got this on my phone. Look, they have friends, they have peers. You
Right,
say,
right.
bro, you can't get to this. Check this out, cuz. And he said, and then he shows him or she a way to get into it without your parents even. You can use my access code. This kind of shit, right? Like, so porn everywhere. And what porn now? Here's the thing: it ain't just porn now. It's porn now. Like, you can see some stuff online. You be like, oh hell no! I don't care how freaky you are. Oh hell no! Like, for real, it's some crazy stuff out here. So that's a debate. How can we regulate this? What it's like? Is this immoral? Like, what does this do to relationships? What does this do to us as individuals that we're consuming this like this? Then we start talking about abortion, which is a result of sex, right? So now it's about, oh, what kind of protection are you going to use? What kind of sexual habits do you utilize? Like, do you use condoms? Do you use pills? Like, now we talking about sex again, right? No, and don't forget about the Me Too movement, because that whole thing of canceling people because you say, hey, baby, how you doing? Oh, that's sexual harassment. Oh, man, we sorry, Mr. Valentine, we got to fire you, right?
I do not receive that. Do not speak that into my life.
That's why I shifted it over, right? I didn't put it on me. Like, I ain't gonna say that shit. I get laid off fucking tomorrow.
Right. I'm canceling that energy right there.
Right. So then we get to mass shooters. Violence. Now we back to violence. 30 people, 32 people shot. Again and again, who are these mass shooters? We have to be honest.
Manchurian candidates.
I mean, they're white boys. They're young, crazy, wild white dudes. Right? All the way to Dylan Roof, all the way. Look, at Kyle Rittenhouse, I seen, a lot of white people feel like Kyle Rittenhouse was railroaded. And I don't, because he was in a place where he shouldn't have been with something he shouldn't have had. You 17 fucking years old. What you doing patrolling some community with an AR-15? The fuck kind of shit is that, right? Like, so but all these mass shooters, Dylan Roof goes into church, the Buffalo shooter. The craziest part about this is all these mass shooters are mysteriously brought in peacefully.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, violence-wise, we got a young brother who was just shot 60 times by police officers. Because now, guess what? It's that time of the year where black people outside, and now police violence is, oh shit, my bad. I thought that was my taser. Oh, I didn't know you were shooting too. You were shooting too. I ain't know. He got shot 60 times.
Well, any excuse is a good excuse for them.
Sex and violence. This is what we doing right now. Who's a rapist? Who's going to jail? Who's sex trafficking, right? Notice all the things I've talked about. I ain't got to the economy yet. We ain't got to talk about nothing that's real important yet, because how many issues do we have with sex and violence that we got to be preoccupied with, even in our community? Kamar, I shout out to you for your tell us about your interview, because you had an interview on Channel 12. Talk about that with the people.
Yeah, it was cool, and it was real impromptu. Like, I was just walking out to Phoenix on my way to my car, right? And Channel 12 pulling in, and he pulled up to me as I was getting in my car, and he was like, they just came from the what do they call that when he was speaking, or whatever the meeting or whatever it was where the police chief was speaking, and they asked him how would he grade himself on the crime in the community, how he been handling the crime in the community. And surprisingly, he gave himself a B. So they asked me, what did I think? And would it be okay if they interviewed me? I said, yeah, sure. In my mind, I'm like, you got the right one today. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, they pulled over and got out the car, pulled the camera out and everything, and he asked me. And first thing I said, well, I give him an F for fail. You know what I'm saying? And he looked at me and I said, well, I'm going to tell you why I give him an F. I said, first, Number one is, we on pace to break the record again for the homicide record again. We on pace for that. That's the most horrible crime that's being committed out here, and we on pace to break it. And then, you know what I'm saying, we got the police brutality that we still dealing with. We got the car thefts, we got the crazy driving. And these are all different parts of different crimes that's being committed. And I said I give them an F because if you got a reading class, you know what I'm saying, you take it's a part of the class for spelling, it's a part for comprehension, it's a part for writing, and it's a part for reading. You know what I mean? If you ain't doing good in spelling, you might get a B. If you ain't doing good in spelling and comprehension, you might get a C. If you ain't doing good in three of them, you may get a D. You know what I mean? And if you're doing bad in all of them, you fail. And right now, I feel like we failing in all these different categories in the community. So I'd have to give them an F. I really wish they did the whole interview because they asked me again. You know what I'm saying? They said that he said that he feel like the community should help the police. You know what I'm saying? With the crime or whatever. What I said, what I told him on that, I said, well, you know what I mean? There's a lot of layers to that. You know what I mean? I said one is we really can't trust the police to come into our community. Because if we start holding different people in our community accountable like that to give them to turn them into the police, we got to trust that the police ain't gonna come kill them. You know what I mean? Because these is our friends, family, who we ultimately hold accountable. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get that relationship together first. You know what I'm saying? So you can't put none of this on the community. I'm telling you, because I went in. You know what I mean? But I knew they wasn't gonna put that whole interview on there. And then right when they was finishing up the interview, was another guy. I knew him. He was walking up, and he kind of butted in, right? So he started talking, and they asked him the same questions. And he called himself trying to go in like I did. Then in the end, they asked him his name. He didn't give him his name, right? And he said, "Well, I'm not gonna give you my name because I'm planning on running for office, and I don't want my views to get contorted and all this type of stuff." And man, listen, I jumped in on him. I said, let me tell y'all something. This is the problem right here. You know what I mean? We need people that's going to come in office and speak their mind. Never mind what they feel like somebody want to hear. You know what I'm saying? We need somebody that's going to come in office and make some people uncomfortable. We need these conversations. We need these issues to be addressed. You know what I'm saying? I said the police chief. I said I know a whole lot of activists. I know a whole lot of leaders in the community who I know damn well he ain't want to talk to ask what can we do to help.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I went in on him, but like I said, I'm sure they wouldn't give that interview to him. You know what I mean? I went in on the outlaw style. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, that's
you'd have been proud of me, kid. You'd have been proud of the witch doctor, man.
That's another topic that's on point right now is number one, what would his grade be, right? Like, and we're talking about our black new police chief. And yes, I did make a point to say he was black. Yes, I did, right? And so there for me there's a little bit more accountability.
Yeah, make a big difference.
And then there's the grade that I keep seeing. And once again, when I talk about these things, this is information that's out there. So it's not as if I'm putting anybody on any kind of blast, but you talk about the Office of Violence Prevention. And I personally feel like they're in a tough spot because they are earmarked with this title. And they've been kind of given this title. And with that title to say we are the Office of Violence Prevention, would indicate that we are responsible for stopping violence before it occurs, before it happens, right? And shout out to the brothers and sisters at the Office of Violence Prevention. I'm pretty sure they're working very hard at whatever their agenda is, whatever the things. And I don't know all of their programs. That's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure they're working very hard. I know a lot of them, and I know a lot of them have very sincere intentions in like choosing to be in that office. But once again, I feel like they're in a bad position because I think this might be an impossible task without the rest of the pieces, right? Like, I don't think they're in a position really to just go in and really wholesale prevent violence because there's so many other pieces missing, right? And so just for that fact, I would give the police chief a D, and I would give him a D simply instead of an F because he just inherited this shit. Like, he's not, he's kind of inherited it. So I would give him a D. What was you about to say, Kamar?
No, I was just going to speak on what I saw about the Office of Violence and Prevention. I was just reading something, man, and they on their ass. They telling them that they want them to provide. Well, this is what I read. They telling them that they want them to provide proof of the production, or you know what I mean, the proof of what they're doing in the community. Like
Right.
I think it was saying, like they were saying something like, you can't just say that you're going in and you stopping stuff, so you can't provide the proof of what you're doing. You know what I mean? To be an organization, they saying you really have to be able to provide some numbers. You got to have some paperwork to show. You know what I mean? Some statistics or something. You know what I mean? To show what you're doing is working. But they on their ass, man.
Well,
I'm interested to see where this is going.
Well, okay, so and with the Office of Violence Prevention, so they are, I would assume, grant funded initiative to a certain degree. So there's data that must be provided, right? So I don't know, and I
That's
don't
what
know if
they
they
asked
have
me
a
for.
data person, because I know really what sparks this whole conversation is the mayor and the police chief, I believe, saying that crime is actually down by 8% in Milwaukee, right? And so we're looking at it and we're saying, where? Like, okay, like if it's shit, where? Right now, once again, this is not an indictment of any single solitary group of people, right? Like
Right.
if you work at some place and you working in the neighborhood and you putting in your work and you saying we over here doing our best, we're on the front lines fighting, what you doing, been there, done that. Okay. So I understand that you only have a limited reach in a lot of these programs. But this Office of Violence Prevention has been fortified and given extra funding, right? Like so, and unless the check didn't come, and that's if I'm lying on the mayor when he said eight more $1 million, even though Barrett said eight more. A bunch of people done pledged $8 million. So I said a couple shows back, which one of these checks did they actually get, right? Like because I'd like to know. So where are the resources allocated? I think people would feel better if they just understood. Now the violence preventers, shout out to Ray Mendoza, shout out to my brother Jay. I know they out here on the streets, they on the bricks, they out here trying to, and they are intervening in a lot of situations and putting their own personal safety at risk a lot of times. Like I know them brothers is out there fighting the dragons. So it's
Hey,
not.
Kier, but you know what? You know, we talk about this too. Like, okay, you could do so much. You know what I mean? I think you could work. You could work with some people, whoever it is giving the funding. You know what I mean? You could work with them, but eventually, I think that shit gonna run out. Like they gonna turn on you. You know what I mean? Like being us, black people. You know what I mean? With with some kind of organization, and we getting funding, we doing well, and you know what I'm saying. I feel like eventually working with something gonna happen, man. And that's what this is the feeling that I was getting when I was reading that. Like it's almost like they was turning on.
There's some people who I'm listen because there's always another agency that's on the rise that be like we should be getting that money they getting right
Right.
now. When I talk about the data, like what are their quantifiers? Well, we don't know. I'm in none of this. We don't know, and we missed the opportunity to have them discuss it when they were on the show last time because it was so much drama and so much tension in the room. So we really missed a way for them to be able to quantify what they're doing and like how things look before they came. And so, like, are they taking people who have committed a certain amount of offenses or community where these certain offenses were common? Maybe you take assault, maybe you take robbery or car thefts, right? Just this area, and you say this is your district. You keep in contact with the police to say what's the percentage on that this month, and then you compare that every year until you can say, compared to 2021, the work we've been doing about this initiative in this neighborhood, according to the numbers, says
Right.
those percentages have gone down,
Right. And
right?
that's what they're asking. That's what they're looking for. Exactly what I feel like they're looking for. And
Yes.
by us being black people, you know what I mean? I feel like a lot of the time we get in situations and a lot of white folks don't feel like we know what the hell we doing. You know
Uh,
what I mean? And it be little small shit like that they try to double back on you and bust your head with. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And I just feel like this is some of that type of bullshit that they do, man.
Well, we live in
I
Rail,
hope
you
they
work
do got
social
their shit
services.
together though, for real.
Rail works social services, and social service is a result driven industry, and it's not I say industry, I might as well call it an industry now, since
Right.
our level of misery is so deep. It's big money at the top of it, not a whole lot at the bottom, right? Like if I just watch the kids, you don't make a whole lot of money, right? But if you going out talking to donors, getting checks written, you living pretty good. But it's a result driven industry, meaning, bruh, you got a 5-year grant. I need to know. You need to get a data person, and they need to come up with, you know what I mean? So,
Right.
real talk about this being result driven. And if those results aren't there, then what do we need to do?
I mean, basically, like you said, I mean, those grants are contingent on them seeing something. They want to know that their money being put to good use. So, it'd be times where, like at a previous job, it was times that you were told to touch a case that ain't even in your department type shit, just because the next time they talk to the news, they want to be able to say, yeah, we've processed this many cases.
Mm-hmm.
Them motherfuckers wasn't processed. They was touched by a motherfucker outside of the department that don't
Right.
know what the fuck going on in that department. But
Right.
so man, yeah, when you fucking with grants and folk that want to see them stats, yeah, man, it's all about results. And a lot of times you see people that fall victim to the red tape, man. They just like people that just slip through the crack, and it's like, damn, they gonna perish because of a process type shit.
And with these people, man, paperwork is everything. I learned that years ago,
Everything.
fucking with the system, going to court, and you know what I mean, and filing different shit. Paperwork is everything. You need a paper trail for everything you do. If they give you some money, you're gonna need a paper trail for the money that they give you. You know what I'm saying? You got to have some kind of results for what they giving you. Anybody that give you anything, you got to provide some kind of result.
Right.
That's just how it works. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Whether it's an investor, whether it's somebody from the county giving funding your people some money or whatever it is. You know what I mean? They looking for results when they pass money. You know what I mean? So I get it on that end. You know what I mean? I just like to say, I just like to question a lot of the time they motives when they do pop up with different shit all of a sudden. But
Yeah.
Kev, you made a point. It'd be other groups too that be vying for these positions and for that same money. So you know what I mean? They I feel like they throwing alley oops. It could be them too throwing alley oops.
Well, absolutely, because they're gonna look at your program and they're gonna start a program you don't have and
Right.
say they ain't even addressing this. See, this is what it really is. We need some of that bread they getting, and boom. Listen, once you in this system, you can absolutely get your ass whooped by paperwork, like Kamar said. And they got acronyms for everything. When you go somewhere, say I'm here to do this, you got a PTR, and you got to have an OVC and a TPR and an X10. You're like, man, come on, man, what the fuck, man, right? Like, so a lot of black people just be like, man, I don't even feel like going through that shit, man, fuck it.
And
So
that's the problem though, fam. Cause like right now I'm well, I ain't staying on my mama, but she's still working with this PNCC shit. And the fucked up thing was because it was state funded and government funded, a lot of people was doing that prenatal care counseling wrong. So they start shutting it down. But a lot of people put in their applications right before they decided to no longer give out memorandums of understanding. So, mom's done been paying on the office for about 2 years now, waiting to be given a license that they're in a loop. Now the state is saying we can't license you until United Healthcare give you a memorandum of understanding. But then United Healthcare is saying we ain't giving you a memorandum of understanding until you license. So this the loop that, again, like I said, so many people fall victim to the process. So I'm like, no, you're gonna have to expose this flaw in the policy, because how many other people lost hundreds of dollars paying to go through this licensing process to fall victim of this broken ass process. So yeah, man, that paperwork, and then sometimes the paperwork is broken.
right. Well, you gotta, a lot of times people you gotta have somebody to go in there and make sure they are updating your SOP, your standard operation, procedures, right? Sometimes you gotta make sure that documents are updated with the newest information on them. All this, the point of all this is it's better, in my opinion, to have an organization like the Office of Violence Prevention than it is to not have it, right? I would absolutely unequivocally say it's better to have them. But if they are not fulfilling their potential, because there's so much potential there, there's so much that they could actually do in this community. And once again, you got to understand, Milwaukee is a big old bag of shit, and it's all different kinds of shit. It's Cheetos, Doritos, it's ribs, it's vegan shit, it's meat eat, it's catfish crumbs, it's Popeye chicken sandwiches. It's all kinds of shit mixed up into a big bag, right? Like, so no one person or entity is going to be able to solve all the problems, but they're in a position where they could actually accomplish a lot. I do believe they are like partnered with Children's Hospital or the medical college, right? And so there has to be some statistical analysis here that they could look at to say, okay, let's get this going. Let's look at this. Let's make this our bottom line right here. Let's make this. And I know when Brother Reggie Moore stepped down, the sister, and I don't know her name. If somebody out there knows her name, hit us up and let us know. I forget her name. She came in and she said she wanted to look at mental health. And at that moment, I thought that, okay, but that hasn't been their focus all this time. That's not the direction he had them going in. So if you're going to hit reset, now you got to go in a different direction. A bunch of shit has to change. Those processes that Rail is talking about, now they have to change because that's not the focus anymore. Right. So listen, as in my long involvement in social services, I've been given a specific assignments like this. Okay, Mr. Barnes, I need you to go here, 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 and get your staff, her, him, and him, and then we're gonna have some funders come in. We need y'all to do your thing, whatever that little thing y'all doing. And so they basically telling you, put on a good show, make sure everything is popping, so these rich people can come in here and say, "Oh, I like this is actually great. I like that. I'm gonna give these guys some money." Checkmate. Then so we keep our funding going. Ain't nothing wrong with it. You got to pay to play. I totally understand that. But what I'm saying is, if we're going to have them, let's make sure their agenda is something that's positive for the community. Same thing with the police, right? Like, that's cool. We got a police force. We got a black police chief. That's fine. But if he's not coming up with policies and procedures that are going to improve our community, then what's the use? It's like you got a brand new Corvette, 2022 Corvette, but it's a stick and you can't drive stick. What the fuck you gonna do with it? You got the fastest car in the world, you can't even drive it. So the violence part of sex and violence, and this Outlaw Radio sex and violence, the violence part of it's there. Like we saying, Rel, what grade would you give the police chief? Because I do believe this was directed at the police chief, correct, Kamar?
Yeah.
Okay, what grade would you give him, Rel?
I would say around about a D for the same reason you said. I mean, it was shit before before we hopped in, you know what I'm saying? So, it just, but again, it goes back to hell.
Well, for him to give yourself a B?
Yeah, no, that was kind of pretentious right there. But
Come on, man. Okay, give yourself a C. You know what I mean? I get it. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
you're talking about yourself. But don't say you're above average.
Right. But again, I don't even have an answer on what we can do. I mean, that little cat that was doing them cars, he looking at a lot of time. But yet I still just seen somebody doing donuts in Foreman Mills earlier today. So I don't know if that shit ain't dissuading kids to see that you could get banked for cars. I mean, I don't know what's going, cause them to do other things.
One of the greatest things about our show is that nobody on here pretends to have all the answers. So if you're just tuning in, it's Outlaw Radio, Sex and Violence. We talk about the problems. Where we have ideas for solutions, we'll give them. But nobody on here is really, I would say, naive enough to say, I know whatever. I know what you need. I know what you need to do. I know what you need to do.
Right.
Everything gonna be straight.
Right. If they say that, they're lying. Listen,
right.
Here's a tip. If somebody approaches you to join an organization, right, and they say, well, brother, you need to join up with us, and this is what we do. And if you say, okay, well, this is where your focus is, and they say, yeah, and you say, well, what about everything else? If they don't tell you, hey, brother, we just want to work on this, man. We got to get started somewhere. If they say some shit about, oh, believe me, I got the answer to that too. Walk away fast, because that individual is fucking lying to you. Outlaw Radio Hump Day Edition, man. Sex and Violence, 262-202-5131. Happy 4th of July. Rest in peace to my auntie Maythel. Rest in peace to my Uncle Curly. Prayers and condolences to my family, the Barnes family, the Pfeiffer family, right? The Webb family.
Man, rest,
Right,
rest,
right.
rest in peace to my nephew Pee Wee.
Okay.
Shout out to Doe, my cousin Doe. His son passed.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we got to give it up for Pee Wee, man, my little nephew. He's really my cousin, but you know what I'm saying? I got to say nephew now because, see, he used to argue with his sister like, that's Uncle Bull. That's Unc. And she'd be like, that is our cousin. That is our cousin. No, that's Unc.
Yeah, man.
So I got to give him a shout out, man, while we giving shouts out to the fallen ones.
Man, anybody out there who done lost somebody, man, if you put in the chat room, call in. If you just want to call in and say, man, look, my cousin Boudreaux, man, you know, hey, it is what it is, man. This is we got to see, we can do that all the time. We can do that. This show exists for that kind of thing. So I don't want people to think, well, I don't want to call in because I want to ask them or talk about something they ain't talking about yet. Give us a shot at it, right? shoot, bang our line and see. I bet you we got a motherfucking opinion on it. We might not be able to give you the answer, but we'd be like, oh yeah, I looked at that, I read that shit too. But yeah, man. And then so sex and violence, right? And so I'm talking about what's really dominating, because we're in this recession, and you know, we have, you know, infrastructure issues, and we have all these kinds of things going on. And we looking at, you know, right now, Supreme Court that's going back retroactively, changing laws now out of nowhere. Like you ever seen the meme where it says nobody, and then it has no words, and then it has me. Hey, let's change Roe versus Wade, right? That type of shit, right? Like, so all that's on the table. Segregation and discrimination and racism is still on the table. That's still on the table, right? White supremacists and white supremacist groups are still out here, although that goes under violence. But I look at that as another, that's not just violence. That's kind of like a mental health thing too, right? Because the mental health is out here. That's a part of what's going on. But what do we talk about most, right? First of all, we talk about what the celebrity had on last night. Who titty popped out? Who ass was bigger, right? Did you see the latest? And you got celebrities who, I guess they trying to make us feel good, like who just, all they do is twerk. Like you turn on the camera and say, what about police, you know, murders? I'm twerking. You know what I'm saying? Don't ask me shit. I'm twerking. Like, it's like, I get it, right? So, but everything is sex. And I would say this, how freaky are we as supposed grown-ups in this country, right? Because I see a lot of things, even on Facebook, which is limited and watered down, but a lot of the things that people put on Facebook, on social media is saturated with sex. It's being sexy. Like the Instagram, come on, man. Like dude, there's literally, and it's funny because I look at Instagram, right? I haven't really figured out a way to vibe with Instagram yet. I think I might be a little too old. Like my kids tell me, Daddy, you old, stay on Facebook. All right, that's cool. But when I'm on Instagram, there's random videos of Instagram, I guess they call them models, where they just walk from the camera, walk back to the camera, show you their breast, show you their butt, and then it'd be like come to my page. And you go to the page and it's like 1 million followers. Because all she does every day is come out in a uniform or like an outfit. I say uniform, an outfit, and a bikini, a swimsuit or something. You see her butt, you see her breast, whatever, and then it's
that's
like
a uniform. That's what she do for work. That's more right. Like that's a uniform.
I didn't want to say whole uniform, Kamar.
It's just the new uniforms.
You might not be a hoe, but you sure got on the uniform.
Right.
But so that's what I'm saying. We can't get enough of booty. Everything, and people are going to get surgeries and get all kinds of shit pumped into their butt cheeks so they can have a man. Listen, women wearing these cinching devices where they pulling it. I'm like, how do they walk around all day with them things on? It ain't a camisole. It's a waist trainer, and I'd be like, dude, women doing all of that for what? Right? So I can look like I got a big booty and a slim one. America is the freakiest we ever been, right? And America won't screw everything. They won't screw men, women, animals, children, Like it ain't nothing off guard, man. And I think that that's just having a negative effect. I think America a little bit too freaky right now. What y'all think about that?
I don't know. Well, you know, it is an over sexualized, it's a hyper sexualized society we live in. You know what I mean? That's why we're going through all this these alphabet demonstrations. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Like everything is hypersexual. You know, women, like we talk about how women dress now. You know what I mean? The halter tops, the tight clothes, you know what I'm saying, and all that type of stuff. And then you got some people that's gonna say they doing too much. You got some people to say that's cool. You know what I mean? Really, it shouldn't be an issue. You know what I mean? Being sexual shouldn't be an issue. You know what I mean? You look in history, you know where we come from. It wasn't no big deal. You know what I mean? Women breasts was out all the time and it wasn't no big deal. Now if a woman go outside with her titties out, you know what I'm saying? All hell gonna break loose. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that it's fucked up the way we look at sex in the society now, or sexuality, I'm gonna say. You know what I mean? Because none of this shit should bother us, really.
And I do want to make this before I know, because I know real he smiled when I said it. He's like, ah, ha, ha, ha.
Nah, it's just funny to me.
Right. But I want to say this too to men. A woman should be able to wear whatever she wants to wear, right? A
Yep.
woman has the absolute positive right to wear whatever she wants to wear. It's not her fault that you are sexualizing her, right? I will say that. So if she came in, like you said, she came out with her breast out. If she felt like because dudes come out the house all the time with no shirt on, right? And some of them got breasts too. And it'd be like, all right. So nobody says nothing, you know. But if a woman do it, some man is sitting there saying, "Ooh, look at them titties. Oh my God." He sexualizes them, right? And so that doesn't mean she deserves the right to be like violated or anything like that. She shouldn't be taken advantage of. But there is certain things that women know for men, it's gonna be sexualized. A woman saying he saw me in a thong, like you already know, most men are gonna say, "Damn," they're not gonna say, "Oh, well, them just her underwear," right? Like, so where does it stop and where does it start at? Shout out to Octavia Emanuel Wright, a former Rufus King general with myself. She said women are often body shamed, and that's where they're getting surgery. Yeah, body shaming. Once again, this is a major issue, right? Like body shaming. Real, what do you think we just a little too freaky? Let's just say as men, are we just too freaky as men?
Can I say something on the body shaming part?
Okay.
It ain't us body shaming our women. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Let's make that clear. It ain't black men body shaming women. It's women watching. It's this internet shit. You know what I mean? It's this social media. All the women they feeling bullied because they feel like they got to look a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying, to be accepted on social media and shit. So now they getting surgery. Or a lot of women, they making more money now because they looking more sexual. They making their ass bigger. You know what I'm saying? Strippers, they get more money when they get their body done. And you know what I'm saying? It ain't nobody really body shaming. I don't feel like.
Well,
I feel like it's just that more people are starting to feel like they have to look a certain way. So they feeling shame themselves. You know what I mean? Like when you let yourself get out of hand, you start feeling a little ashamed. Like, man, I need to get my shit back together. You dig what I'm saying? Ain't nobody out here saying, "Oh, y'all fucked up. Y'all black women out here fucked up. Y'all fucked up. Look at your stomach. No, ain't nobody doing that shit."
and to her credit, she didn't say that black men. She just said that they're often body shamed. So she didn't she didn't go down that road with us and say, "Oh,
You know,
y'all."
usually when it's an offense being taken against a black woman, who's usually to blame?
Right. Well, I mean, the world, because at one point in the
Black
society
men.
looked down on a black woman's big booty as bad, and now look at
Now
it.
they want it.
Real, what was you?
We always love
I
that
want to
shit.
hear your take on this.
The way it
How
is.
how freaky do we need to be?
Shit, man. Yeah, we people have always been freaky. I mean, honestly, if you look at the frescoes of Pompeii, shit, if you look at the stone carvings of India, sex was not always demonized. It was at one time, and it's starting to come again because my whole circle of folk, this is what we do. But it's starting to now still be viewed as sacred. It's like I said, when sex done under the right consensual conditions is one of the most sacred rituals. It's a ritual of creation. So I believe that we're hypersexualized while being sexually repressed. So sex is in your face all day, but then you're made to feel shamed for being sexual or feeling, aroused by different sexual acts. So I think that's the problem because sex has always been around. Even back in the day in the 1800s, white men used to get together and they gentlemen study and put on stag films and shit like that, and thought that it was considered something of intelligence, which I honestly do believe that when you reach a certain level of intelligence, you do tend to be a bit more sexual because you learn to enjoy things on deeper levels. But these white men used to get together and watch that shit and feel that it was too sophisticated for women to watch it, too sophisticated for other motherfuckers to watch it. So that's how it got stigmatized. Just to keep the like everything else, keep the white men able to enjoy it while making other people feel shame for enjoying it or scared to enjoy it. So,
Damn white man again.
I mean, and not, not a shot at white folks. It's just the reality of it is a lot of our fucked upness, if that's a word,
It
comes
is now.
from comes from adopting the westernized view of the world. I mean, white men looked at women as property. So you were only allowed to be sexual when it pleased me, type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Anytime you were sexual outside of my enjoyment, now you're a whore, a slut, or whatever the fuck else because you chose to stand in your power of sexuality versus me exploiting your sexuality for my own benefit. So, I mean, like I said, I believe that we always been freaky. It's just that since sex has been made so dirty, a lot of motherfuckers can now only enjoy sex when it's dirty. Like I go to porn sites, and the first motherfucking thing on the page is either incest or infidelity. So that just lets you know the deviancy of either is stepmom and stepson or just shit that I'd be like, damn, people watching this, but they must be watching it because it's on the first fucking page. You know what I'm saying? But it just shows me that we've made sex so nasty and naughty that first off, people doing it wrong, people doing it to where they don't even fully know how to enjoy it. Niggas using women body just to masturbate instead of cultivate a connection and a spiritual bond with, so it's like because we're made to shame the shit, we be ignorant of the shit, and that's when all the problems come through. And then with the body shaming, with that shit, you got to understand somehow women have begun to allow themselves to be influenced by men who desire to have the appearance of women. Like all that body contour shit,
Yep. There you
that
go.
shit started
Damn.
in the trans community because niggas had to form their bodies and make their hips bigger than their shoulders type shit. They had to put on wigs. They had to put on, only motherfuckers that wore wigs back in the day was what Trick Daddy said. He said the only people that wore wigs back in the day was old women in church,
Yep.
men who wanted to be women, and prostitutes. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Trick Daddy funny as hell. Y'all might
Right,
want to watch
I don't know.
that.
As soon as you started to quote, I said, "Damn, he gonna quote Trick Dad. This should be
Yeah,
interesting."
but
Yeah.
he got a
I
show
tell
called
you,
"Bitch I Got My Pots," but it's
yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
it.
that's a good one. I'll be
but
watching that shit. He
okay,
be
cool,
cooking his ass off.
but
So
so women got to a point where they're now feeling insecure about their bodies because they feel that they have to somehow compete or compare to niggas with manufactured bodies. You know what I'm saying? Like now everybody body manufactured, everybody wearing body contour, everybody wearing wigs. If you've reduced everything that makes you a woman down to shit that you can put on or take off, what's stopping a nigga from putting on or taking that shit off and calling himself you? So this should be deeper than that. It's psychological, man. And we got a lot of women who are beautiful. I know beautiful ass women that can't go out the house without their lace front because they scared, or beautiful ass women who scared to, they don't even like looking at themselves in a mirror because they got booty dimples and grip grooves now. You know what I'm saying? It's like the fuck. But they unfortunately they've gotten to this point. And I say if helping them, if them getting their body fixed on help them feel better, then let them do it. But if them getting their body fixed and they realize they still feel the same, at least now they can go within themselves and do that real work they need to do.
So Octavia says, she said, "Oh, I've been told that I was too fat, too dark, thighs too big by men and women, and sometimes even family." First of all, you come from a black family, you know your ass can be handled very rough sometimes. You
Right,
get a
right.
big name, that's Fat John, right? Like that's your Big Head Michael and shit. Like that be your whole name for your whole life. And your kids be like, "That why they call you that? Look at my head, motherfucker. Look at your head." But I'm saying no. So when she says females being body shamed, I think she's referring to that. And some of this are just compliments that people make. And because you got what we call habitual line steppers, people who just cross the line consistently, right? So they'll just sometimes they say these things to you because they are envious of you, or they wish that they like, girl, you too big, or she might be the skinniest chick in the room who can't gain weight. Everybody laughs at her because she know when she go out, ain't nobody checking for her, right? You too dark. That might be somebody who wish they was darker. So sometimes you got to consider the source. But I do understand what she's saying about, because look, the fact of the matter is a woman's body is overly objectified, ridiculously objectified. Like it's to the point where we're now having debates. Women are now having debates with men about what they should be able to do with their bodies. Men want to say, you didn't put that on. Don't do that. You can't have no abortion. Men are saying we ain't even to the point where we can just say, hey, that's you, baby. Do what you do. Because listen, first of all, let me tell y'all something. And shout out to Dre Day, because I got you, Dre Day. But as far as what society thinks and how men think, I don't women should never feel I have to do this or have to do that to get a man, because I've seen some women that brothers is with, and they ain't on nobody's standard. I done seen somebody like, ew, she must be a real nice person. Like, oh my God. Like, how do he even do that? So he ain't holding her to no Instagram standards. A lot of brothers, the average brother is really cool and calm with a natural body woman, right? Because I know some brothers who would tell you, I don't got no problems with no stretch marks on my girl, especially if she has kids. Yeah, she
Right,
gained weight. She done dropped 3 for me. Or sometimes brothers just say, man, I like big girls, man.
right.
You have to find some place where you are accepted at, right? Where you love that. And a lot of us run into issues for trying to force a square into a circle. Like, no, I want y'all to accept me. And they're saying, no, fuck you. We ain't fucking with you. And then here you go. I'm about to go get a surgery. Bet you they like me now. But see, that's what I'm saying. When we tell somebody, oh, your booty too big, and then she run and get her booty reduced. And then you see another woman who went, got her added. Somebody had to add to her booty. Right? You'd think you'd have thought them two could have met up somewhere and said, girl, you good. I'm good too. Because there's room for big booties and little booties in the world, right? Like everybody shouldn't be walking around with a big old donkey ass, right? We need people. Variety is the spice of life. Dre Day says, why is everyone obese? In the 90s, everyone was in shape, but Big Mama, high hormones, it's all in the food. The food is a monster. This food, and Kamar, I'm glad you're here, because please tell these people, stop falling for everything ultimate. Ultimate chicken wings, ultimate hamburger patties, ultimate plant-based oxtails, and tell all of that stuff is not good for you. Veganism, real veganism is healthy. We know this.
Well,
But
I
people
say
are,
this. Hey, I say this. Ain't none of this shit healthy. So everybody need to quit arguing with everybody about this shit until you on raw vegetables and raw fruit. There ain't no arguing.
okay. But you got people who get, I'm gonna eat an ultimate Whopper, an
Yeah, I
ultimate
mean, but
double
you know,
Whopper.
I mean, and that's cool. That's just what somebody want. I mean, I wouldn't say look down on somebody because they eat a certain way. You know what I mean?
So,
Like I say,
so
if you ain't got this shit all the way down, you ain't got no right to tell nobody shit. And even then, you ain't got no right to tell nobody shit because that's their journey. And this is your journey. You know what I
so
mean?
just
When you
because
learn how to live on the spiritual plane, you learn how to stay out of other people's shit.
So just because you got an ultimate whopper and I don't mean you should look down on me, and I shouldn't be laughing at you because you just
No.
bought some soybean fat.
Only difference is one motherfucker chose an ultimate whopper and another motherfucker chose a regular whopper. That's the only difference. Ain't none of this shit good for you.
Right. Shout out to you,
Everybody
Mariah.
shut
Greetings,
up.
greetings.
It's my
Hey,
family.
everybody shut up. Ain't none of this shit good for you. How about
Hey,
that?
shut up and eat, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mariah Johnson. That's my cousin. Octavia's agreeing with you. She said, period, Mr. Carter. So she's agreeing with you. It's Outlaw Radio, man. It's Sex and Violence, a Hump Day edition. Welcome to the show. It's your man, 50 Grand, Kevin Barnes. I am still the Negro Whisperer, the mayor of Chocolate City, right? The militant with a microphone, the mouthpiece of the movement. I got the ghetto witch doctor with me, man. Tell these people about some nature and herbs and supplements, Kamar.
Sure enough, we got nature natural herbs and supplements. You got detoxes that's gonna purify your blood, cleanse your liver, push mucus out your body, balance your hormones. It's antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, anti-inflammatory. It's anti-cancer even. All the antis. You get where I'm going with it, right? It's also gonna cleanse your urinary tract. It's also gonna give you energy because it's pushing toxins out of your bloodstream. A lot of the time you feel fatigued because your blood is full of toxins. So this all around detox is something that's great for you. And then y'all know I specialize in the sea moss thing. Y'all can get y'all sea moss gel. It's also gonna boost your immune system, push mucus out your body, feed you all the minerals that you need. It's also detoxifying. So it can help you lose weight as it's high in iodine, so it tells your thyroid to get your metabolism back to where it's supposed to be. So those are two different ways how it helps you lose weight if losing weight is a thing that you're trying to do. So, if you got any questions, anything, you know what I mean, you can call me 414-949-2122. I'll talk to you. We can put a package together. You know what I mean? I can find the right way for you to go.
And of course, we got my brother Rail. Mr. Valentine is in the building. Talk about your books a little bit, Rail.
Well, they right here. I got 12 steps to becoming your own dope. My journey on self-discovery as I learned emotional intelligence, shadow work, and how to manage my own perception so that you stop drawing your value from the opinions of others and stop getting ass hurt by the way other folk live. And then I got my gratitude journal, the multidimensional mindset gratitude journal, so you can cultivate 30 days of gratitude, which just helps shift your perspective on the things that we take for granted every day that we can be grateful for. I mean, if you opened your eyes this morning, if you woke up in the bed this morning, if you was able to get out the bed unassisted and get to the bathroom, if you was able to use the bathroom with no problems, all them shits is things
Right.
that you can literally be grateful for, understanding that there was somebody else today who couldn't do any of those things. So it really helps you change your perspective on shit. And like I said, if you're gonna feel any kind of way, why not feel good? Why not feel appreciative? Why not feel loving? We always run into the feelings of fear and anger and outrage. We choose how we feel by what we focus on. So if we shift our focus on higher vibrational shit, we can walk around with an elevated consciousness.
And shout out once again to my cousin Mariah. She said the number again, please, for the detox. So I'm a hook cuz up.
414-414-94. Hold on, I'll put it in the chat. But it's
Okay.
414-949-2122.
That's what's up. Outlaw Radio, man. Wednesday night edition, man. Halfway through the week. What is a week off for me has gone super fast. I'm like, damn, it's almost time to go back to work. Shit, y'all just gave me 2 weeks off. It's the 4th of July, right? And so this is one thing that it kind of grinds my stones to say, right? I know it's an old man thing to say, but listen, my whole life, there's always been, I know, once a year, July 4th, right? And every year since I've been alive, we've had one thing. Well, we've had 2 things on July 4th. One was barbecue, and the next thing was fireworks, right? And the craziest part about this thing, right, is every year people complain about the fireworks, right? I'm over people complaining about fireworks. Get you some noise canceling headphones, take your ass somewhere, put a pillow over your head, Why? Then as soon as they step in and say, "Oh, you can't get fireworks no more," then it's gonna be, "Oh, they trying to fuck with our rights." Right? It's always something, man. We knew that you knew July 4th was coming as soon as it was over last year, and you got still fireworks out of control. Motherfucker, when has it been July 4th without fireworks? I just need people to just chill, man. Like that's what I'm saying. Like some people just want to fuck with you just to fuck with you, just want to fuck up your day, right? Don't let them kids see no fireworks and all. Like, come on, man. It's the 4th of July, man. So I'm never just some of them I'm amazed that the power of some of the ones that people that used to like we didn't used to have the major ones. You have Roman candle, you have smoke bomb, M80s. Motherfuckers be having that shit now. They put on boom over your house. You be like, damn. So what did y'all think about this? And listen, this is how God works. He knew we was gonna act a fool. He rained on the 4th and the 5th. Go in the house. Go in the house. Right. You thought you was gonna clown. Take your ass in the house, right? So, what y'all think about? And I shouldn't even say, how was y'all 4th of July?
Well,
right?
I'm one of the ones that really don't. I used to like all that shit, but I'm one of the ones that really don't like it no more. But I mean, I don't be out here fussing with people about it and shit. You know what I'm saying? I know it's gonna happen. I just deal with it every year when it comes.
Right.
But yeah, I used to do that shit. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't fuss at nobody about it. I let them have their fun. You know, you get older, you stop doing it. That's just how it goes.
Right. I used to throw it.
I do. This is one thing I do say. You know what I mean? How about let's just do it? Don't do it in excess. You know what I'm saying? Like you do so much of this shit. Like this lasts for 4 days. You know what I mean? Come on, man. You know what I mean? Like that part, yeah, I really don't. I can't get with that. You know what I mean? I'm tired of this shit now. You know what I mean? I just want to watch a movie.
Right. That's because we getting older, man. Like me too. I'm one of them motherfuckers that's like, these motherfuckers at it again.
Right.
You know, because
7 o'clock in the morning. Boom, 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 boom.
Right, because they don't wait till the 4th. They don't wait till it's dark. As soon as June 30th hit, motherfuckers popping fireworks in midday. But one of the reasons it irritates me is because I got a 1-year-old here and I got a 3-year-old here. So, you know, my 3-year-old was on my hip for the past 3 days.
Right.
And now, you know, she's a 3-year-old and that's all she's talking about. Now, Daddy, remember I was scared of the fireworks? Yeah, that was yesterday. And I didn't get no sleep because, you know, so I'm one of those. But I will say this, you know, I did it too younger. So I understand, you know, the people who still like it. But just something to put on their brain, you know, on the flip side of that shit, you do got infants out here. You do got veterans with PTSD. You do got dogs out here. Like around my block for the past 2 days, soon as 10 p.m. hit, it damn near sound like Afghanistan because motherfuckers is letting off shit that's shaking my house. I got a park right across the street. So, you know, they letting off shit that's shaking my house, making the whole room light up. And I got children here. I'm trying to sleep. They fucking up my grooves because these kids ain't been going to sleep. You know what I'm saying? So, so yeah, that's why I'm really upset. Shit,
you can't get your huge Hefner on.
Hell no, I got a 3-year-old on my hip talking about remember when and shit. You know?
Oh my goodness. Mariah, my cousin said you always was positive, even on the mentor line in the UI department. So shout out to you, I guess.
For sure. I appreciate that. You know, it's a blessing when walking your purpose help other people, man. It is a privilege and honor to be able to walk my purpose, and it's even more edifying when that helps other folk get through their day.
Oh yeah, because I done had some people who work for unemployment be on. So I'm like, motherfucker, you ain't paying me out your pocket. I said, hey man, I'm finna hang up. Put your supervisor on.
You know, that's the wild shit though, fam. Like people get into these customer service positions and ain't customer oriented at all. You know what I'm saying? They be just putting folk through the ringer unnecessarily because that's their only source of power. You know, maybe when they at the crib, they getting slapped on the back of the neck or some shit.
Right. Some people might like that shit. You right, Mariah. I take fireworks over gunfire too. That's the alternative fireworks that we get too much. Now you gonna
some
hear that shit for the rest of the summer, right?
some of those I couldn't tell the difference, man. So I still dropped to one knee for a second just to see.
Oh, I can tell the difference. I'm a gun guy. I can tell the difference. It's a whole different kind of report. It ain't, because
Yeah.
it's that initial leaving the barrel, and then there's the sound that motherfucker make coming through the air. It's unmistakable. I know the difference. That ain't no firework, bro. Get out. Um, hit us up, man. 262-202-5131. Outlaw Radio on a Wednesday night. If whatever you got going in the community, you got something positive going, you're doing something great, you got a business, you just want to shout yourself out, shout somebody out. You wanted some shit that you seen that we ain't talking about. Hit us up. The number's always going across the bottom of the screen with the Cash App, right? Like I know people like, why are you talking about the Cash App? This shit ain't free, right? It's a labor of love,
right.
damn sure a labor.
Right.
So yeah, I listen. Sex and violence, man. We're preoccupied with it. Like I said, now we get to this thing where today, and ironically, if you're not a member of the People's News Network, if you don't know what we're talking about, that's probably why. Because normally everything that we're going to talk about is in the People's News Network. It's our sister group. And I put this about Macy Gray saying simply that just because you change your organs, it doesn't make you a woman. And the fact that they're talking about canceling Macy Gray, because I don't know when the last time she released an album. So I don't know. They cancel Macy Gray. What the fuck are you talking about? But somebody tell me what's the problem with what she said? To a man who wants to be a woman, right? To a man who would say to me, and if I was having this conversation with another man and he says, Kev, deep down inside, bro, I always just want to be a woman. I would tell him first, well, unfortunately, man, you a dude. So you ain't gonna never be able to actually be a woman. Now, what you can do is you can act like one. You can dress like one. You can talk like one. You can copy their mannerisms, but you'll never be able to be a woman. We have different parts. Anatomically, we're built differently. So if you say, oh, okay, that's transphobic. Why? I mean, so if you say I'm a transgender man, I would say, but you're still a man. Like, you're not trans. What does that mean? Transitioning my gender? Even if you go and have the surgery, bro, you're still a man. You're still a man.
The fact that you have to put trans in front of it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. What does that mean? I can't say the shit. Transitional male. What does that mean? Somebody enlighten me, please, because I ain't
robots in disguise. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Whenever I hear trans, I'm an '80s baby, man. That song used to slap too. Transformers.
Come on, robots in disguise.
Like, listen. I don't know what part of this, like this whole sexuality thing that we talked about earlier, because we talked about the sex part of this is our perversions. The fact that we right now want sexual freedom and anonymity, right? We want to be able to do what we want to do with who we want to do, how we want to do it, when we want to do it. And it ain't nobody else's business. It really ain't. Right. And so a lot of times people wouldn't know sheep shit from wild honey in terms of what you do until you tell them. Right. Because I could work next to a dude for 20 years. If it was about the job and he did his job, I don't got no problem with him. I don't know who he screws. I don't know who he lays with. The day he turns to me and says, well, I got a husband, right? Even after 20 years, I'm going to be like, oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Well, oh, man, good man. That's good for you, bro. And we're going to keep it working.
Right.
I'm gonna move me. I want to be next to you no more.
Why you feel like you gotta tell me?
Why do you? Now you say, well, cuz Kev, I'm tired of coming to the company parties and I don't be wanting to bring dude because I don't be wanting nobody to know. So normally I tell y'all this is my cousin or this is my guy, right? So, but now he getting to the point where he like, you don't want to sell me off. I don't know what they do. I don't know.
Damn.
Right, like I didn't even really have a good voice to be the girl boy or the catcher, because let's just say pitchers and catchers, right? So I don't know how much the catcher wants to be seen. Okay, so but my thing is, it doesn't matter to me until you start coming to me saying, yeah, I like to sleep with men, and you got to accept it, and you got to like it, and you better not say nothing about it. They'll be like, whoa, slow down, man, slow down, bro. First of all, you don't tell me what the fuck I'm supposed to do about
Hold on, player.
receiving your homosexuality, right? Hold on, player, right? Like you don't get the right to just like you got the right to screw him. I got the right to say, oh shit, that's crazy. I don't understand why one person got more rights than the other. So that argument about sexuality for me is just one of the dumbest ones in the world because just mind your business. Keep if you don't
That's
want
all.
criticizing, you don't put your business out there. When you
That's
start,
all.
I'm all out on Facebook and I'm at Pride Day and and then as soon as somebody says something about gay people, you mad. What the fuck you mad about? If because especially if you really, what Kamara used to tell gay dudes anybody who's gay listening to the show, be the gayest dude you could be. If you are gay, be Hall of Fame gay. Don't be no lightweight gay. Be a for real gay dude. Like you out here, like boom. I mean, that's just who Cuz is, right? Ain't no or nothing. He don't need to force it on you or nothing. It is what it is. Don't be hiding shit. And then when somebody find out, they'll be like, "Oh hell no!" And then you be like, what you talking about? What was you hiding it for? If you're so proud of it, what was you? Well, because the pressures of society. Come on, man. I just think we're giving it too much energy. Just like I told y'all, we give white people a lot of power. We've given away more power to white people than they've taken from us in the last 30, 40 years. And I feel like we're doing the same thing with them. Like we giving power away to them because a lot of us who straight feel like we have the right to just who appointed you to go and say, oh, motherfucker, you should do it. All gay men should die. Or that's why you got AIDS. Who put you? Is that your job? Ain't nobody told you had to go do that shit either. Just be straight, right? Because
It be something in them that get triggered, man. When people come that hard, they be like, "Hey, man, they triggered a switch in you."
you said hard trigger and switch. I don't know what's going on right now. This is weird.
Oh man, you know, I
Sex and
mean,
violence.
type shit. You know, I
Right.
mean, I don't worry about who. I mean, like you said, I don't give a fuck about who fucking who. I mean, there might be a guy completely masculine, more masculine than me type shit that happens to have a husband. You know, I don't give a fuck. That's just Earl and
Well,
accountant.
he probably ain't more masculine than you then.
Man, shit. I mean, I don't know. He might go hunting and wrestle bears and shit.
That
You know what
don't
I'm
mean
saying?
he masculine. No, because he don't make kids.
Well, I feel. I mean, I feel what you said, but you know that might
He's
be a thing.
against making kids. Let's say that.
Oh
You know, some
no.
of them
Come
be
on.
having kids. You know,
Right,
and a
right. You
Yeah.
wife
can't
and
say
a
that.
whole lot. You know, but you know, again, it's like that's just that. That's just what that dude do. You know, and I don't care about it. I don't even need to know about it. You know, so that be my thing. Like the first time I started seeing this real shit was on the lesbian side with Rosie O'Donnell. It was almost like people used to ask me why I didn't like Rosie O'Donnell, and it was like it ain't because she was gay, it's because she was a gay bully. Like, you know, she was throwing it in your face, and I dare you not to say I'm great for being gay, or you know, like you just live your life, I live my life, but don't try to shove that shit down. So I seen it go from Rosie O'Donnell, and that shit just grew into a whole movement. Cause even Ellen wasn't like that. Ellen was the cool ass chick that danced to black music. You know, she didn't even feel like she had to be that bully ass chick. But now I think that's the issue I have. I don't have an issue with like the community. I have an issue with the bullies in the community.
Right.
Because there's some people in the community that's like, damn, like it's a comedian, a guy named Flame Monroe. And
Oh
he
my God.
and he tell you he a nigga with titties. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he know what the fuck he is. You
And
know what I'm saying? He got kids and
he
everything.
does.
And he like, man, some of these people was too out there for me. Like, you know, just stand in your truth and stop trying to force your truth on other people.
Now let me ask y'all a question. I don't watch P Valley, right? I've never watched it before. And it's supposedly this is centered around some stripper ism type strip club, whatever, right? And so apparently there was this intensive gay. There's been a lot of gay sex scenes on this show this year. One of them involved two females, which I did see. I saw a clip of it on I think Media Takeout or something like that. People like, you go to meet? Yes, I do go to Media Takeout.
Yeah.
That's just like coffee in the morning when I'm just chilling. I just go to Media Takeout automatically, right? I used to go to Media Takeout and Bossa, but now it's just Media Takeout. But so then there was one with two dudes, right? And I guess these dudes up to this point on this show have been portrayed as thug type cats, alpha male, regular type cats. and they had and I still have not seen this, y'all. So if you've seen this, let me know. They had an intense homosexual love scene, and a lot of people expressed like this is where being straight, where we do cause a problem at, and this is where me as a straight man would cause a problem. I'm watching this show, and I do this all the time because I watch the Upshaws, Mike Epps show on Netflix, and they got some gay stuff going on. And every time I see it, two men kissing or two men getting, I go, oh hell no, and I change the channel, right? And if it's too egregious, I just never watch the show again. Like I used to do Empire, right? I knew off the first episode, I was like, I'm cool, I'm good. So they have this scene. Lil Duval, a comedian, comes out and says, man, they're gonna have to start putting up warnings or something. Like, man, and he like, this is too much, man. As a straight man, he like, and he tried, it seemed like he was trying to appeal and saying that, listen, gay people, y'all gotta understand that's a lot. If you're a heterosexual straight male, it's a lot for you to see and a lot for you to take in. So he was bothered by it. And people just came down on him. Once again, you're homophobic, you wrong, and why can't we? And this, and I'm like, well, should we be at the point where we're cool? Because regardless of what they say, we still do have straight men in this country, right? We still do.
Right.
And we deserve a certain level of acknowledgement and respect since we got contribute directly to the population of this sumbitch, right? So should we be comfortable to the point where you just be watching the show and all of a sudden it ain't nothing for just two men to just go to hammering on each other? For me, I'm like, oh hell no. And I understand I don't want to see it, so I don't watch it. Right? I ain't gonna even watch it.
It's that bullying we was talking about right there. That's a perfect example of it.
Okay.
They force it on you, and when you say something, say you don't like it, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? They tell you they're a transgender woman, so I'm a woman. I mean, well, no, you had an operation, you're not a woman. Now it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? They forcing shit, and then when you tell them, no, that's not right, well, now it's a problem.
My cousin Mariah says, here's another question. Tell me what show doesn't have a same-sex scene that's for adults. Once again, cause this what I'm saying. I'm watching the Upshaws because the Mike Epps Netflix thing, and the son on there is gay, and they got a scene where him and his boyfriend kiss. The scene like that for me is like, oh no, let me boom, and hopefully I come back and ain't on that, right? No problem. That I know that this is reality, but for me, it's not something appealing, right?
Yeah,
but you're right. But when it goes into actual, like for real, like bang, 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 this P Valley was deeper than just two dudes. This was
how you gonna force me to like raw onions?
Right? Is that what they calling it now?
I'm just saying, man. That ain't what they calling it. I'm just using that as an example.
They are now.
You know what I mean? How you gonna force me to like raw onions? Every time I say I don't like raw onions, it's a problem.
Right. Even if you avoid them, I still come over to your table with a bowl of them and put them on your table. But like,
yeah,
you gonna eat these onions.
You gonna let these onions stay on your table.
Right. I'm tired of looking at onions, right? Like, yeah, you're right.
You need them onions on your burger. Don't discriminate them onions.
But there is, every show does now incorporate some sort of same-sex gay kind of. That's what I'm saying. I guess that's what we're all kind of agreeing to. And when Rail says the bullying, the bullish nature of it, I guess that's where the term bull dagger comes from. I don't know. I just made that up.
Yeah, good.
Right. Was that a microaggression? Please don't cancel me, right? Like I give a shit one way or another. But no, I'm saying it does feel kind of intrusive when it's no, you're gonna accept this. Take that. That's a bad pun, right? Like take that. No. But so people say, well, what about gay people? They got to look at straight people love scenes all the time. They always have had to. I'm like, well, no, because they can turn. They can do.
Not only that, but that's something they've been seeing their whole life. That's something they used to seeing.
Well, even if they don't like it, they could do what I just did. This
is society. This is the way society is being. You know what I mean? Man and woman relationships is tradition. It's traditional for human beings. That's just the way it's been. What the fuck you mean? I gotta get used to watching two men kiss.
Right. Well, you have to. You have to.
No, I don't have to. Keep saying shit. I can keep saying shit, and they can keep saying shit back or whatever. You know what I mean? If that's how I want to do it. You know.
I think they have. See, this is where what trips me out about that statement is that you cannot tell me that it is as upsetting to see a man and a woman kissing or holding each other on TV. Even if it's two women, it's still like, whoa, right? Like, so brothers get to this thing where we say, shit, if it was two women, I wouldn't be tripping. Well, regardless of how freaky you are, you have to understand that that's not normal either, right? Like, because
Right.
my wife is a straight woman. She'll look at that and be like, I don't want to see this, right? But brothers be like, shit, ain't nothing wrong with that, because in a brother's mind automatically go to, I could come in there and get in between them. And a lot of times, if it's two lesbians, they don't even want you in there.
They
So
don't
our
want
minds,
you.
I go in there, have a threesome. They're not thinking about your ass, bro. You won't even be able to get in, depending on the situation where you at. I don't know. Some brothers say, Kev, you don't know what you're talking about. And in that realm, I don't, right? But I'm saying, because I don't want to indict myself, like have my wife on my ass, like, oh, you've been in threesomes with two lesbians, and you'd be saying, that baby, it's just a show. And then you always be asleep and shit, lonely and shit. But I'm saying I don't understand why they don't understand why it's upsetting for me to have to sit and watch a man put himself inside another man. I don't understand why they would think, well, you should be cool with this. How don't they understand that I'm going to be like, what the holy shit? Like, how don't they understand our reaction? Especially at this point. It's just like me being surprised when a white person called me a nigger. At this point, if you black and you get surprised when a white person says nigger, something's wrong with you, right? So if you a gay man and you walking with another man and y'all holding hands or y'all kissing and somebody say, oh, y'all fags, it shouldn't be like, oh my God, he called me a fag.
Hey man, I think everybody need to go back and watch a few episodes of All in the Family with Archie Bunker.
Oh my God.
Man, listen, man. I watched Archie Bunker throw like 10 insults in 1 minute.
Yeah.
Dog said everything from faggot to teabag to what he called pansies. Dog threw every word out there. And
Yeah.
he get at it on racial shit too. You know what I mean? And that's why I say, man, like, how you gonna get mad at people for being comfortable with something that's been going on since forever? You know what I mean? And then get mad when we used to this shit and we don't like how it's changing. Right? You know what I mean?
Well, homosexuality has been going on forever as well. I'm pretty sure there was always two dudes who was like, I like you too. Let's go in this cave over here. Some shit like that. I'm sure there's always been two dudes bumping uglies. The thing about it was they understood that was not the norm. So they was like, we need to keep our shit over here because I don't need no drama. I don't need no drama either. When you get to the point where you like, oh man, look, everybody not only do you have to know that I'm screwing him, you got to accept that I'm screwing him. So you're forcing people to accept something that's out of the norm. Here we go again with race relations. I don't try to force my blackness on white people. Nor do I don't worry about whether they accept me or not. Right? I don't go around saying, no, you're gonna listen to some goddamn Snoop Dogg. Oh no, motherfucker, you gonna eat some collard greens today, goddamn, sit your ass down. Who cares? I don't try. If they accepting of it, fine. I'm good. If they not, I'm good. It is what it is, right? So I feel the same way about you don't have to try and force your sexuality upon somebody else. If they say, hey man, that makes me uncomfortable. Because the reality of it is most men, we feel uncomfortable by it. It makes you uncomfortable. It ain't about you hating that person. It ain't about you saying, well, you're gonna say all that, but most of the time you do it because you feel uncomfortable. Like, oh shit, that's not cool for me. But they want to take your right to say that. They want to say, no, you can't say you can't tell me that makes you uncomfortable. I don't want to live in no world where I can't tell somebody when something's making me uncomfortable and have the option to leave. Bro, I don't get down like this. I'm gonna go somewhere else. Y'all go ahead and do that. I'm out. You can't get mad. Now sit your ass down. You gonna watch this shit. No, I'm not, motherfucker. Now I'm mad. Now I'm about to say some fire. Now I'm about to disrespect you and shit, right? So sex and violence, man. Outlaw Radio. This is what we're talking about tonight, right? And if you're a gay person, listen, I don't like I said, be gay.
Gay up.
Right. Be gay, but just understand there are straight people in the world. Right? Right. Just just gay up, right? Like, do you, man. Get it done.
I'm a man up, you gay up. Hey. It's
It is
all
what it
good.
is. Yeah,
Hey,
man.
it's a party.
Alicia, she said she loved Archie. You know what? My mom wouldn't let me watch Archie when I was
Man,
little.
Archie was the shit, man.
But when I got older, I watched it and I did start. He became one of my, and I seen the importance of his character. And I started saying, this is one of the best TV shows because it was real. And
Yep.
that's how a lot of white men felt. So, like, and what was funny is about how ignorant he was because most
Yeah.
racist white people are ignorant.
Ignorant
You
as fuck,
Right.
man.
You rarely meet a smart racist white person. Normally they're ignorant as fuck. Don't get me wrong. You got some smart ones that are calculated, that are, higher up in the system, but they look at it more of as I told you, there's no such thing as white supremacy, but there's white supremacists, right? There's white people who like to think that that's a thing when it's really not, because they're not superior to anyone. And they're not supreme to anyone. But most, like, if you go down south and you meet most ignorant ass rednecks that are racist, they dumb as fuck. A lot of them have low literacy rates. They don't know shit. They inbred. You're like, why do you care what this motherfucker think, right? Like, look at dude, man. Who cares what he supposed to say that, you nigger? He probably can't even spell that shit, right? Once again, I acknowledge that there's some smart ones too, but most of them ignorant, dumb as fuck. Shout out to Crystal Ship. She said Control C in the building. Absolutely, always Control C in the building. We got to get her and Sister Ticey back on the show. That was a live interview. Shout out to Rick Muhammad. He said LOL. Yeah, I mean, first of all, the racism in itself is ignorant. The basis of it is ignorant, right? Because how do you hate somebody for who they are? I hate you because you white. I hate you because you black. I hate you because you Asian, right? It don't even matter if I'm a good person, if I'm nice, if I'm an asshole, if I'm whoever, right? You just hate. It don't matter what I do, you gonna hate me anyways, which is ignorant. You had your mind made up before you even knew anything about me, so that makes you ignorant. He said the KKK. Rick Muhammad said the KKK, Jews, are white supremacy, racism. I think, yeah, there's white supremacists, but they're not supreme. There's no truth to white supremacy. It's not a thing. It's only a thing that we give power to when we say it exists. I prefer to say there are white supremacists, people who try to make this something. It's really not real. And that's why there's no such thing as white supremacy. So I think it ain't just semantics to say supremacy versus supremacist, right? Because it's like gang members, right? I'm a gangster, right? You are a gang member. You a gangster. You live by this street code that's based on all these kinds of survival tactics, right? None of them are absolute. What you pursuing ain't even real. I'm a gangster. No, you ain't, because they're gonna lock your ass up or you're gonna get killed. Now, when you come up with a way where gangsters are legal, it's legal for me to be a gangster. I got a permit to sell dope over here. I got a permit to shoot motherfuckers who ain't wearing the same sign I'm wearing, and they ain't gonna do shit about it. Then you a gangster. What do most gangsters do? They run from the police. They the baddest motherfuckers in the world till somebody with a uniform on comes up and says, "Hey, there's police." Oh shit, we up. Wait, gangster, why you didn't stay and say, "Fuck you, police"? I don't give a fuck about you. You know what this is. You know what we do on this side.
Right.
So it's the same as white supremacists, because you get one badass white supremacist and put him in the wrong motherfucking neighborhood and have a bunch of gangster ass dudes get on his ass. He's gonna run, and his white supremacy ain't gonna get him out of it. He ain't gonna be able to go, oh, and summon some superpowers like Thor and all this shit and fire a hammer at him. No, he getting his ass beat or shot. He's a human, right? There's no such thing as a white supremacy. That shit is fake, right? Rick Muhammad said they took the economic power. They have taken. Have they taken it? How should we approach this? Did they take the power? How much economic power do we give them? By us being able to secure money, and if we saved money and invested our money and supported each other, that's a whole lot of power we would have economically. So how much of it did they take, as opposed to how much do we give them? How much money do we spend on hair and beauty products with Asians? They ain't taking our money, motherfucker. Give me that money if I can give you this weed. No, you go in there like you got yaki. I want to set with blonde, and you pay them voluntarily. You're giving your shit up. No liquor store says, Kevin, get your ass in here and buy this goddamn vodka. I go in there like, hey man, y'all got let me get a half pint. Right? I get a shit up. So I can't then turn around and say, man, these motherfuckers done took all our power. No, we're giving it to them. If we didn't go buy them little bitty ass pigeon wings from J&J's Chicken, that foul ass Arab chicken, the motherfuckers would go out of business. And you know who could then move into those restaurants and get them for a good rate? Because ain't nobody checking for them. Us. Then we could say, I got a fried chicken menu and I got a vegan menu for my people in the community. What y'all want to eat? I got some healthy alternatives over here. I got fresh fruit and shit over here, but goddamn, this fried chicken over here. If you don't want no parts of this life, stay away from this, right? You can go on the vegan side. It's the vegan line. We could do that if we took that power back from them. No, instead, baby, what you doing? I just got off work. What you doing? Nothing. What we gonna do for dinner? Shit, I'm just finna go by J&J's and grab 30 wings. Them little bitty ass wings. Them could not possibly be chickens. Those are not fucking chickens, man. Those are fucking pigeons. Who knows what them shits is, right? And then you say we got a shortage on them. How you got a shortage on some little ass wings? Is the chickens being born without wings and breast? Like, there's plenty breasts.
How you got a shortage on fake chicken?
Come on, man. Once again, we've given all this power away. We've given it all away. We've given it all away. Rick Muhammad said they took gold in all African nations. Oh my God. You know what? Do you know what's crazy about that? We say they took it, but how long have they been occupying these lands? Hundreds of years, right? At what point do all y'all just say we all fucking quit? Everybody, we quit. We ain't going to the goddamn gold mine tomorrow because they ain't finna get their ass in there and dig it out. We go and we say, well, I need somewhere to work. Why? Work somewhere else. Fuck that mine. And then when they all come looking for us, then we get on their ass. Now we ain't finna go in that mine today. You're gonna have to go and do that shit yourself. Once again, I feel like a certain amount of this power we've given to them. There's no way some of these colonies should have been allowed to exist in Africa as long as they have. There's no way you can tell me for hundreds of years, a lot of this colonialism in Africa, it's been accepted and tolerated and even incorporated to the point, once again, we've given them this. We allow you to come in on our continent and do this. Okay, what we supposed to do? Something is better than nothing. Man, we're going to die. You're dying right now. You're dying a slow death, right? So once again, it's about how much we give up as opposed to what they've taken. And I'm not saying they haven't taken some things, because I do understand some things they absolutely straight up deboed and taken and said, you motherfuckers better get back. And we said, oh shit. But a lot of it we've given up. Let me see. Oh, my chat room is popping. I gotta go up some. Rick Muhammad, Alicia Mullen said, yeah, now we talking. Rick said they took silver too. He said the real white supremacists have gangs. The CIA, the FBI, IMF, and the ATF. Is the CIA a white supremacist gang? This is a question. Are they? Are they? Somebody tell me if you think they are. As the CIA, right? We know mostly white people work and operate the CIA, right? But their role is global espionage, right? And there is to give us an advantage in the global kind of politics, to make sure somebody ain't got shit over here doing something we don't know nothing about. We want to sabotage. We want to be able to send a sabotage to destroy it.
Destabilize.
I'm not justifying anything that the CIA has done, because I know they've been dirty birdies, especially when it comes to black people. But is it about America as a country, or is it about white people? So the CIA is only for white people, because I do believe they would tell you they doing what they can do for the country, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, Rick. You know, the ATF is some bullshit. The FBI, we know, is a bullshit organization, but is it a white supremacist gang though?
You know what? To a certain extent, I could understand what he's saying. I mean, whenever there is a black person capable of organizing and educating the black community, they are put on the the list and eventually taken care of. You know what I'm saying? Like it does happen all the time. So
let's look at it like this: who carries out the plan for white supremacy?
I
Who's the
appreciate
face
that.
of it? You dig what I'm saying? You start talking about the president and shit, possibly, right? Who protects the president?
Right. Right.
So it could be a faction of the CIA. It could be the gang CIA, or you know what I mean. Just like the military, the United States military, it could be their gang too. They
Is
part of that whole demonstration.
Biden a white supremacist?
Hey, you, I don't know. He upholds it. We can say that.
I mean, I mean, honestly,
He carries out the plan.
I believe he does. I mean, at the end of the day, even the white supremacists, it all come down to money and power. So you know what I'm saying? It's always like even the motherfuckers that preach that shit. The higher ups don't even believe the shit. It's just that they use that as a platform for profit and power. So you know, again, Biden, the government, all that shit. I will say that in history, whenever black people have started to organize and come up, it was the government that invested in taking them down. So I mean, that's white supremacist tactics, and I mean, and a lot of the people in government on their off days do don a white hood. You know, y'all see that video I posted about? It said
Got white hoodies.
right. It was a black Republican dude. I think his name was Jerome Davis, and he was like, "People ask me why do I need an AR with a 30-round clip." And it's for if a group of Klansmen, like he showed, and y'all see that I posted in the group because he had a valid point. He brought up the same shit I brought up. I mean, why would I need a high capacity magazine? Because nowadays these little cats so starved for drama that if you get into it with one of them, you could have 3 cars trying to pull up on you full of motherfuckers that's looking for drama and problems. So you know, sometimes there is a good reason to have that shit behind that glass that you break when shit hit the fan.
Okay. Once again, I want to make this clear. I'm not denying the fact that there's white people in this country, and there always have been, who have an evil agenda, who have been able to build and fortify systems that operated to keep other people down. I would never say that has not existed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do understand J. Edgar Hoover and him being a whole gay dude who allowed mafia and the mob to exist and annihilate black power movements. I understand there's a white supremacist angle to that, most definitely. But once it was done, that didn't mean that white supremacy was real. That meant that there are some high-ranking white supremacists who have privilege and who have advantages. Totally understand that. And I'm not trying to say that the government doesn't have an element of white supremacists in it, right? I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all. But I do want black people to do, though. He says, Rick is saying, read the ISIS papers, the key colors of the late Dr. Francis Cress Weldon. What I'm saying to black people is I want you to be very critical about what you label racism, right? Because if your focus is out of place, then your execution is out of place. So if you're looking at something and you saying that this is racism when in actuality it's not, you wasting your time on that instead of dealing with some shit that really is racist. You feel me? So I'm saying we ain't crying wolf about no bullshit, right? I'm not running around like, oh, white people trying to kill me. They just made abortion illegal. No, I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about what's going on in the schools, in the public school system. I'm more worried about the economic disparities. And I like to focus my energy on that instead of worried about what they doing all the time. I'm never going to be able to move forward if I'm always worried about what somebody else doing. Man, I would, but man, we could, but man, we should, but we got to get to the point where we just like, look, we finna make this shit happen regardless.
Right.
And that power that was taken from us, let's work on getting that back. You know what I'm saying? Because there's ways we can go about getting it back. It's ways we can go back go about securing some shit that was taken from us, because we are a lot more progressive now than we have been in a very long time. And I said that to say black people are way more mobile now, because the one thing we did get a chance to do is be able to get some of this paper. When they say we got more millionaires, we got more billionaires, we got more black people with money than ever, and we should make that money count. Rick says, oh, you mean the white law enforcement, the recent young brother in Akron, Ohio? Yeah, we talked about that. It's sex and violence. Is this brother Muhammad on the line? You live on Outlaw Radio. Who this?
All right. Brother Rick Muhammad calling, bro.
What up, Rick? Hey, Rick, do me a favor. Turn your device down, because we're going to get an echo if you don't.
You here now?
Yep, I got you loud and clear. Can y'all hear him?
Yep.
Okay. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, I'm looking at the stream and, got my little social media going on like y'all do, sitting here watching the NBA League Pass. Now just listening to what y'all were saying in the group, and I just think the angle of what's going on got to be looked at on a different platform, because it's like you got micro level white supremacy and you got macro level, but we in the middle of all of it. And the reason we're in the middle of all of it, because remember, they brought us over here. We didn't ask to come over here. And all the systems that they have in place is to control us and to have us working for them. Okay. Bottom line. The only difference now is, like my dad used to say when he worked in the factory, he said when they got blacks to come up north to work in the factory, we worked all the jobs that they didn't want to work. They had to work in a smelly ass foundry, doing piece work, pouring hot ass metal, all that kind of stuff. They didn't want to do that, So they came down south and they got us. You look at corporate America. Dr. Claude Anderson said that there is no corporation that got, when they get up to 5 to 8% of black Americans, now they got to go hire some white folks. And when you look in corporate America, you don't see us. You look on these white college campuses, you don't see us. Majority of our people that graduate HBCU. Fact. So it's depending on how you look at it. And then you talk about a gang. I'm not worried about a brother out here with an AR-47, but I am worried about that hunky who got the AR-47 like in Highland Park and in Buffalo. That's the motherfucker I'm worried about. When I go in the suburb, I got my shit with me. I don't know about y'all. I'm just being straight up. I'm ex-military. I know you ride up in a white town and you got a white woman in the car, you're going to get stopped by the police. And they're going to pull over and ask her, is she all right? And then they want to see all your information because they're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. They're always watching us. Like my partners that work for FedEx and stuff like that, they said they go up in these suburbs without a uniform on, the police going to be pulling up behind them. You better have a uniform on at 10 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on how you want to look at it. But there is a system in place. And I wish I could find it. I'll send you the link. I got it somewhere. Dr. Frances Wilson in her book, The ISIS Paper, she wasn't a PhD, MD, psychiatrist. She wrote a definition of what white supremacy, racism is. That's when I look at that, I think about it every time I see a white person. I think about her definition of it. She passed about 5 years ago, one of our elders. And when I think about them, when I see that, and you see it every day, it's just that I guess sometimes Stockholm syndrome have us to a certain level. But the last point you made is like, okay, we're not organizing as black men to really do nothing. Because if you don't do nothing economically, you're not even touching it. My thing I'll ask all three of you is, do you know in America, there's not one city that has an economic capacity like the Chinese or like a Chinatown or like Koreatown, nowhere in America. And I went to 20 of these places looking for it. Don't got it. No, we don't have one. You go in Chinatown, New York, the street sign is in Chinese. In LA too, in Houston too, Chicago too. Economically, we're not scratching, making a dent on nothing. Nothing. Collectively, nothing. Last point, I asked black women, this professional black women, which they not gonna do it, but you would think they would control the hair care industry. We outnumber white people globally 11-1. 11-1. The numbers don't lie. You know, the numbers don't lie. In America, the only difference in America is that they would never let black countries immigrate here to outnumber them. When you look at the refugees that's coming over here from the Ukraine and Afghanistan, they're white. Their population numbers is going down. They white. You get one boat of Haitians or Cubans come over here, they'll say that the boat sank. They'd have shot that boat and killed them people, bro. Come on now. And I'm telling you, man, you know, you got to always read between the lines, but Biden is a fucking racist. Faggot and his son. That motherfucker was the one who wanted to vote for Christian Church and Pablo Call. That was him. That was him.
Okay.
And I never will forget that. That was that motherfucker. I didn't vote for him. That was it. Barry was the one passed the law for the fat homosexuals to get equal laws to black people for civil rights. We can't let that get no pass. Ever. 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 No, them two. That's just two things. That's just two men. And then the last thing I say is this. In every police department, you got racist, red-leg cops that's going to kill black people. Think about that brother who just got shot 60 times. 60 times, man.
Well, you compare that to the fact that on the flip side of that, every white boy who is a young white male who has committed a mass shooting, including the young Rittenhouse cat, who is white folks' hero in America, he was even exonerated, but they've all been taken alive. Like they took the youngster who did it in Highland Park, they took him alive. They took Dylan Roof to Burger King. And that's what I'm saying. I think we need to save our energy.
I think we need to analyze what you just said. We need to analyze what you just said about Rittenhouse. Because the black community don't really understand what happened with Rittenhouse. Because they made it seem like he was down at the rifle shooting in the crowd. No, he was not. And the 3 people he killed was pedophiles and 2 had sodomized babies. He killed them 2. That was a hit. You look it up. It's all in the record. It's out there. So what I'm saying is,
regardless,
he is not on the same. He's not on the same case with Dylan Rudd. That hunky walked up in the church and killed 9 black people.
Hold on.
Right.
And I think he is on that same level because he was down there to shoot black people. That's why he was there.
No, he was not. No,
he was down
not,
there.
Kevin.
He was down there.
No, he was not.
He was down there.
No, he didn't shoot one black person.
He didn't.
But
he was down because he wasn't where the black people were armed at. He was down there because he said he was going to protect some property because it was rioting because of a black male being shot. That's why he was down there. That's why he was down there. He wasn't down there just because he was looking for pedophiles. He was down there because he was like, oh, they tearing up this community. I'm about to go shoot me a nigger in his ass tonight. If I catch one of you motherfuckers writing graffiti, that's why he was there.
I read the court documents. That's not what happened.
Why was he there?
He was down there on a hit. He was down there on a hit.
That's not what it says in the court documents. That's not what it says.
That's what I read. That's what I read.
Not in the court documents from his trial, Rick. That's not what it said.
But it's not, Kevin, you wrong, bro.
That's not what it says in his court documents.
I'm telling you.
That's not what it says.
So the people that he killed, ask me the question. Go look it up. The people that got shot and killed.
We know that. We've heard that. We've heard that they were pedophiles. But I'll tell you what. Send me the document that shows me court records that says he was down there on a hit to kill pedophiles. Send me that. Send it to me.
I got it from. I send it to. I inbox it to you. But what
send it to me. Just send it. We ain't even gonna debate on it. Just send it to me. That's all you gotta do. Just send it to me.
Because those 3 white guys, they had just committed. They were bringing kids across the state line. Okay, they were going very good. So he was a bounty hunter. There's people out here that are bounty hunters that's taking out pedophiles.
He's a 17-year-old bounty hunter.
Yep.
Send me the paperwork. Give me an opportunity to read over this information. Send me that paperwork.
Yeah. But I'm just what I'm saying is that's not nowhere on the level of what Dylan Rudd did. That's not even in the same conversation. And that white boy should be dead.
A murderer is white boy. A murderer is a murderer. What do you mean? It's not on the same.
No, sir. To me, if you're a pedophile You just get jail time. That's not even good enough. It's not. And those people are part of the network. Like Kevin, I just say this. I'm gonna hang up. From what I've been learning about this whole thing, how the child sex trafficking go, is levels. See, the first level is these motherfuckers that arrested, like that police officer that got arrested and sent to jail, who had porn on his desk computer downtown,
right,
and on his cell phone.
Right.
Their job is to go around and take pictures of children, and then they send it into another. Like you watch Law and Order, they show you how they do it, how they be doing it, and then they send the white van. The white van scoop the kids up, got padded walls in it. You can't hear nothing. And then when them kids have the network, they become like Alexis Patterson. Then it goes into a bigger network. Now, the problem I have with it is in the black community, we're not talking about this on a very scientific level because 800,000 children are coming up missing every year, and a good proportion of those kids are black. And a lot of them are coming lost in the system in CPS. What about the judge, Judge Brett Hume or whatever his name is? He's a faggot judge, and he was letting these people off the hook right downtown.
Right. Listen, once again,
he worked right downtown. So that's just one judge.
Once again, I know that there's pedophiles. We know that there's pedophiles, but I want to keep this in the right context because I don't want to. Unless we have facts, unless I have facts, I can't, because I don't want to mislead people. So that's why I said send me this information you have. Let me review it. Let me share it with my co-host. And then when we do a show like this where we talk about it, I can show it to everybody that's listening instead of us just supposing, oh no, this is what happened. I got it. I can say I got a bunch of shit. I got paperwork on you. We do that in the streets all the time. You rat ass dude. Where my paperwork? Where the paperwork at? You don't got the paper. My guy told me he seen it. See, you show me the paperwork. They call it a paperwork party in prison, right? So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying send me the information. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is that the media lie on so many different levels. Number one. So when you see something on the news, 94% of the news is controlled by the Illuminati.
Right.
Facts.
Right.
So you got alternative media out here. So you got to be careful because sometimes you get some people that make it seem like they're giving the truth, but they're not. And then a lot of people in the media are complicit with what's going on.
Right. I hear you.
So yeah, I'm saying that, but going back to what you talking about, your original point, on the military level, if we're not talking about economic taking stuff over, we're not talking about nothing. We got one gas station in Milwaukee. I'm just gonna leave it with that. We got one gas station now. 500,000 black people, we got one gas station.
Right, no doubt.
One gas. Not even think of this thing. We talking about change.
That's our fault, though.
Mm-hmm. One gas station.
That's our fault. That's something we can change.
Right.
Right.
We can't blame nobody for that.
That's the power. That's one of those things I'm talking about. Power we've given up. It wasn't taken from us. We've had enough. We can sell enough dope to buy our own gas station. We've had enough rich millionaires. We got Bucks here. We got Packers. And this the problem with that group of people. And I'm only gonna speak on this, brothers, because I worked in the area of investment bank and I've been licensed 663. And one of the things I used to do when I was in Milwaukee, Chicago, is try to reach that population of people. You say, one, they don't understand it. Two, most of them don't want to do it. And three, they have polarized themselves. So to get 2 or 3 of them together,
that still says what I just said. So what I mean? It's still our fault. Whether or not we want to do it or not, it's still our fault.
Well, it's our fault.
Whether or not we want to change it or not, it's still our fault. I get it. It's a lot of us that don't want to do certain shit. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's something we can change. We can stop. We can boycott different gas stations until they close down, and then we can put our money together to buy them. But that ain't saying that we gonna go in and buy them.
Okay, that's what I said.
So again, that right there is something we can change. That type shit.
Yeah, you gotta get like-minded people to do what you talking about. That's your struggle. You got what you said when you said collective.
Exactly. I'm just saying that's something we can change.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, to get 5 people together, say we're going to buy this building.
So are you saying the government should just give us this shit? Are you
Give us what
saying
you
the
mean.
government should just give us this shit?
No, I didn't say that.
Give us gas stations,
I
give us
said,
different shit.
what up? No, no, no,
Okay
no.
then.
I'm
So
not
what I
saying that.
just said was we have to
No,
change
no.
some
What
shit.
I'm
We
saying is,
have to make these
what I'm
changes, is
saying,
what I
just
just
hear me
said.
out. Hear me out.
We can't keep complaining. We can't keep complaining about what's wrong and what's happening. We have to start thinking about how can we fix shit for ourselves. Fuck them people.
Outlaw Radio, man. Mariah Johnson says, so the hitman waited for one situation to start to take care of another situation. Oh man, I think Muhammad hung up. I think he hung up. I didn't want him to hang up.
Well, that's cool.
But we got to
That's
have
cool because you know what I mean. The bottom line is with this, everything he's talking about is shit that we can change our goddamn self. So if he's saying that they should fix shit or give us some shit, you know what I mean? We waiting forever for nothing. You dig what I'm saying? All I'm saying is a lot of the situations we in right now, he talked about we got one gas station. That's our fault.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's our fault. And for those of you who don't want to accept the accountability to say it's our fault, have they say think about your performance. Have you
We have
making
to be able to admit
have
this
you
shit first.
have
We
you
gotta
made a
take this.
mission?
My bad, Care.
Have you made it a mission to go to the black-owned gas station? Since we know where she's at on 8th and Atkinson, have we made an effort to go to her and say, look, I want to make sure I came over here to fill my car? But people say, I live far away from there, Kev. I get it. I get what you're saying. But so do you
Tell me
avoid
that's
the
the only
one?
gas station you go to.
Do you avoid the one by your house where they might be rude or disrespectful or sell things in a community that ain't positive? Have we not gotten together to say, hey man, we're not gonna go to dude. We ain't gonna go, no, because we'd be like, nah, man, that A-Rap cool, man. He sell me Newports and shit. He sell me what they call them, what the backwoods. I never understood. Backwoods are harsh. I never understood that, right? Just to take it to some other shit.
Single cigarettes, loose.
Right. And hoghead cheese. He said, man, and he don't know what she went through to get that gas station. Listen, Miss Stowers, who had it before, like when I was rolling with the Panthers, we would go over there, we would talk with her, and Rick was with me. Shit, he knows. We always big up that gas station. We always, made sure that we told people. She said, Mariah said she talked to her personally, and she had to go through hoops and hurdles. And right, and so since she did it, more of us, if we talk about investment groups, like really, because that's what it's gonna take. For us as black people, we have to believe in sort of some collective economics. Because a lot of us by ourselves don't have the wealth. So we will have to say, hey, man, collectively, like 3 or 4 of us can buy this gas station, right? It ain't gonna be like, well, I'm trying to get rich. Well, you might not get your meal off going in on the first gas station with me, but you might find inroads to other businesses through that ownership. You damn sure gonna, build you some credit and some equity so you can go get a loan to start something else. It's a springboard, right? I said all of that to say, once again, we get to the point as black people where we have to have the conversation about what's actually racist. What is important? What's important, right? And should I be right now on a crusade? I'm gonna teach white people how not to say nigga. Fruitless pursuit. No good ain't shit.
How about this? How about every time we identify a problem in the community, we start thinking about what can we do to fix it?
Right. Right. And
Because see, we get caught up in looking at all these problems and shit, and we start expecting people to fix it. This is one of the problems with religion. Religion, how you looking outside of yourself for help. And you know what I mean? We get indoctrinated into this whole Western culture. You know what I mean? Now we here looking for this system to help us. And they ain't designed to help us.
Once again, this ain't no show about saying that racism doesn't exist. We know that, like I say, when people say conspiracy theories, motherfucker, if you look at the history of America, we know they have conspired against people of color like a son of a bitch, right? We know what they look, but see, we're not the only ones who they done it to. Ours is more egregious. Don't get me wrong. Ours is way more egregious. But look at what they've done to Asian people in this country, right? Look at what they've done to even their own Irish and Italian people used to hate each other and used to discriminate against each other, right? Look what they've done to every minority group. The only group that hasn't recovered from it and managed to build some momentum up for themselves is us. I get it. There's a lot of things they've done systematically, but once again, we gotta trim the fat. This has to be efficient. This mower got to be efficient. It ain't got to be no big block. It got to be efficient. We need it to run, right? And so we give so much power away because of our perception. Now, I don't know. Listen, that pedophilia, sex trafficking thing is deep. I understand that. Of course, we understand when you got super high power, rich people involved, it's levels to it. You're absolutely right. We know that there's an underground industry that's built off of this, right? I'm not gonna give Kyle Rittenhouse that much credit to say he was down with some group who was out here targeting pedophiles. That white boy will not be looked at heroically on my watch. And he was down there because of what? People were protesting. Who was protesting? Somebody tell me that. Who was the majority of the protesters? It's black people. Why was the call put out against a white right wing organization, the Kenosha Guard? That call was put out to come on. Hey, y'all, come on in. The police welcomed him, right? They didn't say, look, these the 3 pedophiles we looking for tonight. We know they're gonna be out here. That don't make sense to me. So now if he can send me that paperwork, I am more than willing to look at it and read it and say, okay, I want to talk about the validity of this and I want to share it with y'all. But with stuff like that, we just can't throw shit out there. You can't just say, no, you don't know what really happened. You gotta show me some proof with that. Bro, you've been a little quiet. What's going on? I see your wheels turning. What's popping?
Oh, I'm just listening, man, and just thinking about how you was just breaking it down about how they've been afflicting. I mean, they afflict everybody. I mean, they started and perfected it on themselves. You know, even back in the land of Scandinavia and shit like that, they used to do this shit called a damn. It was called something eagle, where they cut the motherfuckers on each side of the spine and open their rib cage while a motherfucker was still alive and shot arrows at him. So like they perfected this by afflicting other people. Slavery, all that stuff, they started with themselves and then eventually just moved throughout the world doing it to everybody else. It's just that the one thing that's different between us and everybody else is that the Asian community or the Japanese who dealt with endearment camps, the Chinese who had to deal with it in California as they built the railroads, or even the Native Americans who had to endure Trail of Tears. The only difference between us and them is they were able to keep their culture.
That's right.
Like that's the most devastating thing that happened to us, is that we lost a culture or connection back to our origins. But otherwise, they did this shit like they swarmed the world like locusts, man. But like they started with themselves. Even the word Caucasian that we use to describe people from that area, it comes from a skull that they found in the Caucasus Mountains that ended up being, I believe, a 13 or 15-year-old girl who died of like syphilis at an early age because she was sold into prostitution. Like in that region, parents used to sell their children for money. You know, times was hard, I guess, or some shit. I don't know. But so it's like they're heinous as fuck, and they have a whole history of some diabolical ass shit. But I don't want people to think that this is specific against us. They're just heinous motherfuckers that associate thriving with the destruction of something else. But
so when I say Dylan Roof and Rittenhouse are the same white dude, because they both murderers of multiple people. I mean, at the end of the day, whatever their ideology was, they both murdered multiple people because of it. To me, that makes them the same. I think they're probably interchangeable in those situations. Roof might have killed more, you know.
I can honestly say that when it comes to sociopathic behavior, you do see it at least on a public display more so in that culture than any other culture that just breeds sociopaths.
Coincidentally, right. And once again, shout out to Rick Muhammad, because I don't want anybody to feel like you can't call in. But the one thing is, if you call in with information, just let's process it, right? Like, just don't call into absolutes, because you can't we don't speak in absolutes on here because everybody has a perspective. And I know Kamar got a little passionate about it. And so I think he kind of felt like, well, I don't want to argue. So I'm sure I'll talk to Rick. I'm sure he'll call me like, yeah, I just hung up, man, because the brother was getting upset. It looked more like
Well, I mean,
passion to
man,
me.
but Kev, for me, man, I could be quiet until I feel like it's something that I can't just let the community get a hold of. I gotta put my energy on something out there because you know what I feel like everybody, we all gotta be like this. If it's something you really believe in, you give a fuck about the world that your kids is growing up in, you gotta assert your energy to the world now.
Right.
So if I want my people to understand that you got to get up and pull yourself up and fix a lot of this shit your goddamn self, instead of just talking about problems and what's going on, what they doing to us, fuck all that. No, I want a community that's gonna be looking for solutions, that's gonna be working on fixing shit.
Right. And that's why I
So
say,
no, I got
it's more important for us to understand what has happened and
Right.
then say, okay, let's make sure this doesn't happen again. Right. Let's understand what was really taken from us versus what we gave them. Once again, we
right.
choose not to support each other. We choose to get money and invest
Mm-hmm.
in frivolous ways. Let's be honest.
Right.
A lot of us will get
Right.
money. We'll
And
get
you
a
got
good
to do that
job.
first.
We'll get a good job. We'll stack our money, and then instead of taking that money right then, investing and building a business, what we'll say is, no, I'm gonna get something that I think is something like an asset. Like I'll go buy a house. I got my money on. I got a good job. I'm gonna go buy a house. Right now, basically, you got a 30-year mortgage, and I'm not knocking nobody who owns a home. I'm saying you got a 30-year mortgage, and you're committed to $1,700 a month for your property plus property taxes, insurance, and maintenance of that home. So that, in essence, when you say, now I want to invest, but goddamn, this house note is killing me. I can't invest now. Whereas if you maybe had invested first and then cashed out some of your investments, you probably could have went paid cash for that home. Now it's really an asset. Now I'm not paying no interest rate on it in a neighborhood that where all of the property value might go out this motherfucker if the wrong person move in the neighborhood. So I'm saying that's us though. We make those. And if you said I worked hard, I got me a job, I went and bought me a house, man, more power to you. Get you the deluxe apartment in the sky. But don't turn around and be like, oh, these motherfuckers won't let us start no businesses. Right? Like sometimes you got to sacrifice to get to where you going. When they say the ends justify the means, right? So you might have to say, bro, I didn't get my mansion as quick as you did, but what I did was I went and built up a portfolio of property. And once I got to the point where I was making profits off of it. Now my credit's up. Now everything's up. So I went and got a nicer home than you, cheaper, with less interest on it, right? Because I waited instead of just jumping out there so I could say, I'm a homeowner. There's a lot of people be walking around, yeah, I own my own home. That motherfucker, you upside down in that mortgage like a son bitch, and it's killing you. But if you feel better.
God forbid, so y'all need to say you need a water heater or a furnace or something.
Oh my God. A roof? Oh man, what the hell? I wish I had a landlord. So I can call and say, come in. So once again,
yeah, you really got to know what you're doing when you're getting into that buying a house to live in, especially.
Well, and it's not just that, Kamar. It's a bunch of things that like. What's important? What are you like you doing what you do with your business? Rail is doing what he's doing with his books, and I keep hearing Rail say, my whole mission is to make enough money so I don't have to fucking work when I'm old. Like you could take some of that money. I ain't saying you do or you don't. You could say, fuck print a book. Whatever money it took me, like, fuck, I'm just gonna buy me a half pound. And I'm gonna flip this motherfucker. I'm gonna give me some codeine or some pills, whatever. I don't know. I've been out the game so long. I don't even know what drugs they sell now and shit. Do they still sell nickel bags? Like,
well, I am a licensed hemp processor, so I can get
you legal.
half pounds. Right, I can get pounds of CBD with Delta 8 THC if you need it. So, you know, they say it's equivalent to Reggie. So let me know.
Right. Once again, I'm saying it ain't about if you playing the game, it's how you playing the game, right?
Right.
Some of us so focused on working hard that we're not working smart. I'm trying to work smarter. That's why I'm not giving them any power. I'm not giving you, I don't, you tell me you a white supremacist, I'll tell you, motherfucker, I don't believe in white supremacy. So that's bullshit. First of all, you don't even get that much respect from me. That's like telling me you in a fucking cult or some shit. You dumbass motherfucker. Yeah,
It
like
just it just
I don't
made me chuckle,
know.
man. It just made me chuckle because at the end of the day, what's more supreme than melanin? What's more supreme than being able to absorb the sun and convert that shit into energy? Like just like plants, they don't teach us that shit, but that's what our melanin does. We absorb the light information from the sun, different spectrums of it,
Right.
and those different spectrums allow our body to do some magnificent things. What's more
Shout out to Rick
supreme than
Muhammad.
that, man?
Shout out to Rick Muhammad. Rick, you know how we get. Muhammad, you know me and you, we done had some hellified debates over the years, and so I know he like I ain't gonna argue with nobody, So shout out to him. This is the only show we gonna do this week, man. So where are your books at now? What stores are your books in?
They currently at Honeybee Sage Wellness, as well as Personality. Honeybee Sage Wellness is off of 91st in Lisbon. Personality is in that plaza on Titonia, where the DMV is. You could also find my gratitude journal, multi-dimensional mindset gratitude journal, as well as my book 12 Steps to Becoming Your Own Dope, both available on Amazon. And then also I am trying to well, I ain't trying because I am doing it. I am getting my TikTok content up there where I just drop a little knowledge, teach people how to manage their perception, understand their emotions, and then I do a lot of old biblical stuff where I break down different ideologies and things. Like I'm gonna do a video on shacking. I did a video on soul ties and explain the psychology behind that shit. The next thing I'm attacking is shacking because everybody who told you not to shack and get married, and the reason I got married at 20 and divorced at 26, all them motherfuckers was never married, but yet had children and had shit to say about my shacking. So, that's the next thing I'm gonna attack on TikTok. So that's higher frequency, HIGHER FREAKUENCY on TikTok.
And you speaking at the garden tomorrow? You got a thing with your book?
Oh no, that was supposed to be yesterday, but due to the weather,
Oh,
it
okay.
was postponed. So yeah, I definitely let y'all know when I am gonna be there, and it's gonna give me an opportunity to re-up on my gratitude journal. So now I can flip my book and my journal when I am there.
Okay. Kamar, what
Right.
you got going this weekend? It's summer. I know you in full swang. What you got? Because you be all over the place. What you got going?
Tomorrow I'll be at the Fondy Market, and Saturday and Sunday I'm gonna be at a midsummer pop-up market over on on the East Silver Spring Inn down there at Transcendent Hair Spa in that parking lot and building. It's supposed to be a big demonstration going on, a big function. So you know what I
Okay.
mean. I'm gonna be there and we gonna see what's happening. You know what I mean. We gonna make it do what it do.
All right, man. Listen, the whole purpose of the show is really to celebrate being black and really big up in anything about us that's positive and progressive, and to really talk about possible solutions. And the conversation goes around and around a million different times, but it's usually based on respect. And we all have the same kind of desires. Like we all kind of want the same thing, but we're approaching it from different angles and different perspectives. And it's okay to recognize that, right? Like it's okay for us to have differences of opinion, but we do need a space where we can have these conversations honestly, right? Like, cause I'm over lying about shit that's my real truth just to make some motherfucker feel good. I'm not gonna be telling no lies about nothing to make you feel good when it's gonna make me feel bad. I'm not getting into that. Um, and so I think it's very important that we put away all the sensitivities that we have, right? And get to the point where we can really have these conversations without somebody walking away being butthurt. I said that to say I am a very proud man of color. So when you hear me on here talking about I don't give white supremacy power because I don't believe it's a thing. I believe it's a fallacy. I do understand that there are white supremacist agents who are in some sort of phantom crusade to kind of make this the thing, but it's never going to ride because God is not going to allow that to happen, right? And so if you've learned anything up to this point is as evil as these people have been, they have succeeded in nothing because we still here. We still thriving. We still coming. It's still most dominant gene in this galaxy. You put a drop of me in anything, I'm coming out of it. You can't hide me in nothing, right? Anytime, you can mix whatever race you want with black or African. You're gonna see us in there. The hair a little bit different, the eyes a little bit different. Motherfucker walk a little bit different, talk a little bit different. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. That's why it's also the most persecuted thing in the world. We are the most beautiful people in the world. This is why we are the most persecuted people in the world. I'm very proud to have come from a very large family of black people who believed in the value of being black. So when I say I lost my auntie and I lost my uncle, but I can always reflect on what the lessons that they taught me growing up about the importance of doing for self and having your own. If it's one thing my Uncle Curly believed in was you get out there and you work and you get your own. You don't go around asking people for stuff. And at the same time, when you work for it and get it, you don't be giving your shit away either. Don't ask me for nothing, right? Because I'm not going to ask you for nothing. Get your own. If there's a need there, let me donate willingly, right? My auntie, who always told me, you got to believe in yourself, who told me from a very early age, you could do whatever you want to do. You have the intelligence to do whatever you want to do. And nobody should be allowed to put limits on you. The only limits on you are the ones you put on yourself. That's a family thing for me. And then anybody in my family know that's how we go. Nobody in my family accepts excuses, right? You can go to any of my aunties, uncles, and what they want. They'll look at you and say, what? They won't let you. What the fuck wrong with you? What do you mean? So I want to say once again, rest in peace to my auntie Maythel. I want to say rest in peace to my Uncle Curly. Shout out to my cousin Terry, man. Shout out to my cousin Mario, my cousin Iris, all the grandkids, man. Our whole family. This is about to be a big thing because a lot of my family is gonna be here, right? And I'm not a real family. I don't be around my family like that, but it's one of the things where you got to show your face, man. So rest in peace, man. And if you lost somebody, rest in peace. Most definitely rest in peace to the homie Doe. If he lost his son, absolutely rest in peace to that young brother, man. Look, man, we do this. It's a labor of love, man, but it's damn sure a labor, man. If you see the show and you happen up on it and it's your first time seeing it, share it. If you in a group and it popped up, share it. Share the show. That's all we ask. You don't have to hit the Cash App that's running across the bottom of the screen that says $KB7524. You don't have to do that. You don't have to put cash on that Cash App unless you are a nice person, right? You say we like the kind that jiggle, but we appreciate the kind that fold, man. I will see y'all Monday, man, because I don't have Outlaw Nation lined up for tomorrow. I got this week off from work. So I'm chilling. I'm relaxing. I'm putting my feet up and preparing to send my auntie home, man. So y'all be good, man. Y'all be safe, man. And good luck to you, brothers, whatever endeavors you all are involved in. Y'all know how we do it, man. Kamara, you stay off the TV riling, getting people riled up, man. Kamara out here giving interviews, cussing out politicians. It's all good.
Outlaw, isn't it?
Right. He said I
Outlaw,
was.
isn't it? I wasn't cussing nobody out. I was just, giving them my point of view. This is what we do, right?
We got a name for that now. It's a verb. It's called outlawing. What was you doing? I was outlawing, man. What you expect, man?
I was outlawing, man.
That's right, man. So black people, man, you better understand, man, you either with us or you're against us, man. And sometimes you get into a situation where you get fed up of what's going on, so you start to really be critical of the community. But when you get to that point, what you have to really do is sit down and ask yourself, does my criticism of my community outweigh my contribution? If it does, yo ass a motherfucking fool. Peace and love. Capital Drive and Atkinson, stand up, man. Don't hurt nobody.